and then Bank coming in as the decider. It's like NIP's favourite map. So I feel like they've really tried quite hard with these.
And a solid snake ban on top of it to kick things off. That's exactly what I wanted to see. My friends, all yours. Demo, Extra Troika. Enjoy.
Oh, it's been a while since we've heard that, hasn't it, Demo? Back on the cast again. Back in Brazil. I mean, what a fitting place for the reunion to take place. Obviously, it's a temporary reunion. Yeah, it's you know, it's the 3 best of 3 days, so we have a team of casters covering the day.
One game only.
Yeah, we're literally back for one last show. It's like a band getting back together.
That's it. This is well, you never know. It might turn out like Kiss, where it's just constant reunions until, you know, keep going for it. But who knows? Never say never. Look, I think coming into this series, obviously, I think the favourites, you have to look at Team Liquid Alienware. Yeah, I think just with the prestige that this team has, it's still that core of that Fury team who we know are just so darn good. They should be the expected winners here. But I think a side like NIP has certainly been my most improved team from last year. I thought they did really, really well to get themselves back cemented as being a top side inside of SAL. And again, I think so far at this stage, they've done a really good job.
I would agree with you. And NIP is a team that I want to do well as well. You know, I feel like because we only cover a little bit of SAL, you can almost be a little bit more biased than we are in our airport home regions. And I feel like this NIP side is a side that I want to see succeed. I like what they're trying to do here with the team, with the players that they've got. And I think that they play a really exciting brand of Siege. Obviously, Team Liquid Alienware kind of speaks for themselves. You know, that this is a team that's star-studded, SI winners. You've got a very serious core of players. And then with now the introduction of Maya over the last, you know, whatever it is, Kickoff, however many weeks that's been going on, we're slowly starting to see this build. But again, it's quite a seismic shift that they've gone through in that roster. Speaking in the pre-show about JV's roles, and I mean, look at what he's playing. He's playing the Thermite. Now, it's not unusual to see JV on a hard breach, but his stats certainly have suffered as to where we're used to seeing him on other roles. So this more flex role, it's something that's, you know, it's brand new for Team Liquid Alienware.
Yeah, I think for this side, it's just adjusting to their new home in the new colors. And certainly I think for the side, the fact that they're playing one of their permabans that they've had over the past year is very surprising. They don't know if that's because Maya's here and Maya's going to try and teach them a few things, but I think for anyone in the world, I mean, if Team Liquid Alienware have added another map into their arsenal, it just makes them that much more scary to go up against. But at the moment, it is just this pressure in towards Rafters. Very standard take here from Team Liquid Alienware. They've got the hard breaches in and opened up, and now they're starting the assault on Rafters, and down goes Wizards. First player dead.
Yeah, the Azami is always going to be a high target there on Rafters. A very tricky position to play, and something that Team Liquid Alienware have dealt with quite nicely there. Hayes is still going to be up on the Clash, though, and that's going to be a little bit of a problem. As we all know, Clash can just be an immovable object at times. With the pressure that Team Liquid Alienware have got right now, they're not looking in too bad a shape. Basetta will find one back onto JV, but they are really knocking on the side door. KZ's going to go down as well. And what about that for a flank coming in from Fancy? Eventually taken down, but damage already done. Philippop's now left in the 1 versus 1. Low health, diffuser in hand, no C4 for Seto. He needs to play this carefully, but he's giving him the space demo. He's letting him get this diffuser down. That's not the play inside of the 1v1. Bassetto now has to act. These are the two hard supports going up against each other. This was the head-to-head that Leo and Milosh were talking about. And there's only going to be one winner. Philippop's there. A plant and a kill to seal the deal.
Oh, he's robbed that round. He really should not have been allowed to get that plant in. But somehow, he's made it work. And that's because Bassetto just stood off. He was in connector. He didn't want to move. He didn't want to go for it. It's probably down to a lack of information, obviously, from Bassetto. Yeah. He just wanted to try and run the clock down. He wasn't expecting Philippop's to go for the plant, but he did. I mean, for Team Liquid Alienware, a very slow kind of start, wasn't it? The first 2 minutes, it was just kind of doing your general basis of getting those walls open, setting up. They've done a really good job. Good entry in towards Rafters. They were also able to pick off the Clash. But then they let a retake happen in towards Rafters. That was one of the main issues for them. And they lost a lot of bodies from it. And yeah, but Philippop's being able to clutch up, I mean, that is a round to kick things off. and it's going to get Team Liquid Alienware amped up for it now.
Absolutely, the top floor, it's where you go as a defending team on Nighthaven Labs to pick up an early round. It's the reason that a lot of the rotations will start up there. NIP going to go straight down to the basement, not fancying another attempt, even though it only came down to a 1v1, obviously feeling like the flank from Fancy maybe isn't something that's necessarily repeatable, and it might be something that Team Liquid Alienware are going to get a little bit wise to as the game develops. Still, no cause for panic just yet, but definitely the start that Team Liquid Alienware would have wanted here. Hates, he's going to be way out of town at the moment, all the way upstairs inside of meeting for this basement defense. I'm not really liking what I'm seeing here. A glass is always a big nightmare, especially when these walls get opened. Nothing to try and deny this breach. Obviously, the bandit is banned, but Cade and Tuberal both available. And NIP are just sort of giving this away for free. They must have some sort of a strategy, but I'm not really seeing a warden or anything here, Demo. And the plant's going down already. They are here for one thing and one thing only. Burnt off. Philippox has to reposition on very low HP, on the edge of the smoke, and Hates from above can take him down.
Yeah, not checking the Goyo canister, and that was enough to stop that push from happening, and it should just be a lockout from NIP. Obviously, for Team Liquid Alienware on this strategy, you basically go all in. And if you don't get the hand, you're not gonna win the pot. That is certainly the case here for Team Liquid Alienware. You know, if they can maybe try and re-smoke, and I think for the glass, that's really their only win con, is if Maya can maybe try and get some kills here through the smoke. But I think for NIP, they'll be fully aware of what they're up against. They'll be aware of the glass. So as long as they don't peek the smoke, it should be fine. Oh, you've got a tech issue. Oh, well, I'll keep it rolling then, but... And the point still stands, I think, for Team Liquid Alienware. If they are able to win this round, it will be down to NIP giving away foolish kills. EV's upstairs, actually going to see if he can try and ping off. I believe that's going to be one of the echo cameras. He's going to try a replant now. Nate's going to go in, pick up the diffuser. Is he going to go for it? Yes, he is. Again, the echo camera has been disabled. I mean, surely not. Surely there's no way they're going to get away with this. And yes, they are. Somehow the plant goes in. It was beautifully played by Team Liquid Alienware, but look at the two people on the breach. They're so low HP, and one of them goes down. Nade by himself. He needs JV to rotate down with him too. It is planted in a really good position to try and hold the cross. Nade able to find one. Here comes JV, but it's going to be the full retake here from NIP, but they need to start working on that diffuser. In goes the Oryx. Able to find one. The diffuser should get stuck, and it will do. Pino is there. NIP just had more bodies than Team Liquid Alienware. They just threw it right at them, and yeah, for Liquid, they just couldn't get through it.
Now, granted, there was fairly low HP on the attacker, but still, outside, already detected, very narrow angle. Always the danger there when you're getting the plant down in a, what was it, 3 versus 5? Planter then dies, 2 versus 5. You should have the bodies to throw at the problem. NIP did just exactly that. Something I'm noticing, Demo, and obviously I didn't see a good portion of that last round, but in the early portion of the round, the intention is so crystal clear at the moment from Team Liquid Alienware. They just want to get in and they want to get that diffuser down, which, whilst that's not unusual, it isn't necessarily something that we've seen them do tons of throughout the course of the stage. They've not been the, you know, no diffuser planted at all, but we're looking at 3 diffusers planted throughout the course of Kickoff so far, and already in the first 2 rounds of labs, we've seen 2. So you can fairly safely assume that over the course of the day, we're going to get them planting more times today than they have done throughout the entirety of Kickoff. So definitely a different strategy coming out here for Team Liquid. We'll tell if it is a winning one or not. Round number 3, back upstairs we go. NIP are going to be giving it another attempt up on that top floor.
Yeah, we'll see what the change-up is going to be for NIP. I mean, immediately I'm seeing that the Clash is no longer with us. They've switched off that operator. I have to say, though, he has went down. The first pick does go in favor here of Team Liquid Alienware, and I mean, that's a really good start, considering you've been able to pick off a player and you haven't lost anyone as of yet. I always think for the top floor, you need your hard breachers to stay alive. As if you are kind of in a situation where you don't have the hard breach. I mean, this bomb site is really difficult.
Fenrir fallen. Cade now being employed this time. Breaches have typically been something that haven't been so hardly fought over. Hates. Brilliant murder hole there through the floor in IT. That's a really big problem now for Team Liquid. They need to deal with this Cade. They do have some EMPs on KZ, but they're going to need to get a little bit of a visual as to where that is. As we all know, the range and the radius on those secondary EMPs, it ain't that much. You need to be in the vicinity to disable that Cade Claw. Of course, you've got the shock drone as well, but it looks as though Nade has spent both of his, unless one is watching a flank, but that would maybe be a little bit unusual. Another kill coming in for Hates. He's feeling it this round and the last. Mentioned there that he'd hit a worldie in the last round, and he started this round off with 2 for himself as well. Ooh, nice angle. Found by Maya. Hates eventually just overreaching a little bit. C4 sent out, close range with the shotgun. Basetto trying to make something happen here on the IT breach, but he's going to get stunned again.
Well, this is the danger player, though. If your Team Liquid Alienware, that's the player that you need to try and kill. But whenever he has a shotgun close, it's very difficult to deal with, and that time is slowly ticking away. Pino has used another smoke. He still has one left. In goes the final flashbang here for Maya. Is he going to make the push off of it? No, he's going to get caught out. Wizard goes aggressive. Basetto with that shotgun, able to find Philippox, and this should be a lockout here for NIP, unless Nate can do something unholy, but no, not going to be the case. Wizard shuts him down. NIP, that's 2 in a row.
Talk about how impactful opening picks can be. And the pick inside of that round onto Fancy, it didn't really mean too much because the impactful kill came when JV died on the Deimos. That was the win con. That was the way that Team Liquid were going to get that wall open. They were going to shoot open the floor, destroy the Cade Claw, and then move on from there. Get the wall open and start to work with the round. Instead, they're not able to do that. They have to pivot. They have to go through connector. They managed to open up that side. Obviously, half of it is usually already left open anyway, looking in onto pillar into the site. But it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough space to work with. And NIP feeling no pressure from the vertical. Nobody in through fish. No one really in through rafters either. Very easily able to just hold on. That and the fact that Hates picked up a couple of really nice kills for himself. NIP fight back and respond with a round of their own on that top floor. And as such can take us into their third choice site. We go to the mid floor. And we've also had our final round of bans for this half. A Clash and a Deimos both taken out. Nothing too surprising there, but the Clash, I mean, it's been played in one round, Demo.
Yeah. I think for Team Liquid Alienware, maybe it's just the, whoa, help, what if they do bring it again? So it is just trying to cover themselves as best as they can. In terms of that Deimos, I mean, I think Solid Snake and Deimos, that has been the name of the stage, hasn't it? Those two operators. Also throw in Dokkaebi. I mean, those three, in terms of the information you can gather on attacks, it's a lot to deal with. And, you know, it's what I like to call, it's the Shaiko show, isn't it, those operators?
Yeah, I mean, you're obviously now the biggest Shaiko fan in the world, that it's your favorite player and now on your favorite team.
I mean, Benj is there, don't forget.
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
What do you mean, come on?
We all know you're a Shaco fan. It's okay.
Sorry, Pengu.
Well, I mean, that would have been a throwback, wouldn't it? They're like Hall of Famer back in the day.
Look at this from Hates. Very aggressive standpoint inside a garage. I mean, this is where NIP, they're looking to take risks and try and catch this Team Liquid Alienware side by surprise, which, I mean, I'm kind of a fan of. I think against this side, you need to try and hit them where it hurts. I mean, I think for Team Liquid Alienware, they're always going to have clutch potential with the players that are on this team. But at least make it so they have to try and clutch and go for these aggressive plays. Don't allow them to have this setup. Seto, okay, tricking. Thatcher, though, is up, so it will cause a bit of an issue for him. And yet, easy enough for the Thatcher to remove both of the Cade Claws, and it allows the Thermite to get a very easy breach. So again, for Team Liquid Alienware here, Ollie, it's just running through the motions again.
It is. I do just worry a little bit about the time. We're at the halfway point here. 2 kills for Maya, though, is going to speed things up beautifully. But it's responded. JV and KZ both down for the count. But Maya isn't finished yet. very well net himself another 2 here. Nice C4 is going to bring things level for a time being. Pino shot the C4 quite early there in the context of the round. There's still a minute and nothing else to try and hold on to space with. We've got Felipox on the Bs. Pino is going to be able to give great information. But Hates is less than half HP. He's asking a lot of his teammate here to try and hold on to the whole site. Fortunately, hallway camera's still up, so doesn't need to swing and give his location away at the moment. Can just waste the time here. Team Liquid Alienware, they've got 40 seconds of it to play with, and I feel like that's probably going to be enough.
You know, can we just form an OC4? Can try to go for 4 lines. Really, just all pressure by himself. If Team Liquid Alienware maybe try and isolate that 1v2 engagement, that could be pretty good. EMP will stop that Razor Bloom from activating, gets rid of the Banshee 2, and you need to try and go for the plant here, but surely this was where Pino's going to come in big with a shotgun from below, and yeah, Felipox has to scatter now, plant elsewhere, and Maya just has to try and hold on. He's going to go for the plant in the depth. That's perfect for 8. Right into his line of sight. NIP had it covered. Team Liquid Alienware none the wiser of that pulse.
I can't help but feel that Team Liquid Alienware have just bottled that. And there it is, the timeout. They had so much time. All they had to do was take 2 separate 2 versus 1s. Like, it's beyond belief. Okay, you've got the pulse. I get that. So there is a good chance that NIP are going to know where you're coming from. There's a good chance that Hates has got that information. But you've still just got to roll the dice. We didn't see the Bs used. Not that they would have done too much, but it might have given you a little bit of an inkling. It could have at least zoned off a few areas that you then know that you necessarily don't have to watch. Poor old Maya. 3 kills in the round for pretty much nothing. Alarm bell starting to ring there. If those sort of attacks are going awry, where you've got one player getting 3 massive kills to open it up, and sure, you end in 2v2, that's fine. But it's a fairly straightforward site to get a plant down on. Pick your poison. Go and flush out the pulse from below, or deal with the thorn in the site. It really is just that simple. It's one or the other, and you have to take one engagement. You can't afford to just do nothing and just hope to get the plant down instead.
This is a bit worrying for Team Liquid Alienware, as this is not the half that they would have wanted. I mean, this is always going to be the worry, though, from a side going to a map which was one of their permabans. You know, this and Consulate, this is the maps that the Furia Core never played.
10 seconds left.
I mean, same, I suppose, could be said with NIP, because they don't play this map either.
5 seconds left before insertion.
But certainly for Team Liquid Alienware, they're the ones who have went for the choice of playing their permaban. You know, they went for it. I mean, you mentioned, Border maybe could have been what they ran up, but I think for NIP, you're not going to take this side to Border. I mean, it was like one of their best maps that they had in Furia, so I think it was always going to be difficult if you did go there. But, I mean, I think just Leo kind of summed up. He just wasn't expecting this. I don't think any of us was, and it's a weird game at the moment, but maybe it kind of shows why Team Liquid Alienware just don't play this map. Maybe there's not that good on it.
Happy to bring it out. You know, you can have maps that you don't prefer, and you can have maps that you air quotes permanently ban, but it doesn't mean that you're not putting the work in. It doesn't mean that you've not got a good handle of it. Now, granted, it's the defense. I don't think the bans are necessarily leaning one way or another. We've got Snake in there, for goodness sake. He's brand new. It's plenty more siege without Snake than with at this point, so that's not really tipping the scale in either direction. There's a fair shot at the moment for NIP to get round, for Team Liquid Alienware to get rounds on the board, and they're kind of just letting it slip through their fingers. Going back to a little bit of blitz action here, as Felipox is going to be picking up that shield. And a lot more disruption, along with a couple of globals in there as well. You've got the Dokkaebi and the Lion. The good old Thatcher Thermite combo to try and get open those walls. For NIP, I feel like they can afford to be very loose at the moment. And even Fancy's positioning right now, he's all the way over inside a kitchen. I think he knows that the drones have worked ahead of him. He knows that there's people going to be pushing in that corridor. He also knows, obviously, that he's getting pushed from kitchen window. Going to be rapid engagements, that's for sure. Picks the first onto JV. That's the Thatcher down.
Let's try and get out of there, and he has the impacts to make it happen. Eights is also trying to get out of there, so the roamers are in full retreat. Team Liquid Alienware, though, I'd say I've got great control of that mid floor. I mean, they've only got themselves in towards kitchen, and that's really it. Storage is what you want to try and eye up. There's that Oryx upstairs inside of storage, and if they want to try and go for your plants in this site, you will have to take this room at some point. And maybe that's where Nades is going to try and see if he can clear it out. No, Hates a cracking shot onto the head of the Thermite. And another one for Hates. They're just feeding him. Blitz tries to come in. Finally, he goes down. But for Hates, he's done the job. He's got two.
Absolutely. Fleapox and Maya now have got to make it work, and they've got less than ideal kit for taking multiple engagements here. Ooh, the fire. That's going to keep them out of the site for a time being. Force them just to push back corridor. Oh, the TCSG at close range. Basetto finishing with the revolver. Go on, get your kill. Eventually taken down. Maya credited with another 2 there as he grabs Wizard. Oh no. 4 seconds. They have to get this diffuser down. Maya's got it. Needs to get himself into a position. Fancy has to play this perfectly. Dodges out of the way, but turns his back to the Blitz. Doesn't matter how much HP the Blitz has. If you turn your back, that is the opportunity. Fleapox very well versed on those shields. Team Liquid Alienware snatching around there out of absolutely nowhere. I want to know how Wizard died.
It's another steal, isn't it? It's the same as the first round.
How's he killed Wizard?
Would you dare say that the 2 rounds that Team Liquid Alienware have won, it's not from Great Siege, it's from getting the clutch factor. But what did I say about this side? They're always going to have the players who can clutch.
I agree, and I don't think that you're wrong. There have been a couple of rounds for NIP now that you think back on and you think, actually, they're rounds that NIP have, you know, had the risk of being clutched on. They're not been clear cut, have they? It feels like one of those games, then. We could be sat here at like a... We honestly could be sat at the end of this round with like a 5-1 in a slightly different world where just a couple of different shots go a different direction. It really is a very tight game. I don't think the scoreline is giving it entire justice at the moment. It could be so one-sided.
I think whenever you look at the labs and the kind of win rates that we've had, it does lean a little bit defender-sided. It's not a massive amount. I think it's maybe 6% in it. But that is kind of what we're looking at based on the stats at the moment inside the current meta. Labs is leaning to more of the defenders having more kind of run of the green, but I still think even halves pretty common too. I think for Team Liquid Alienware, if you can get that even half, it's not a bad showing all in all. Considering how some of the rounds have went, but they have been pretty decisive in NIP's favor. We go back to this top floor again, and this has certainly been the bomb site that we've seen the most so far in this map. We have seen it won once by Team Liquid Alienware, and also won once by NIP, so it has been a mixed bag for both sides. But again, for Team Liquid Alienware, pretty much the exact same setup again here, Ollie. Just getting the walls open.
I'll be honest, I'm really surprised that they're not playing the Maverick. Because the Maverick's something that you kind of need in this sort of a lineup. NIP have kind of held the ace up their sleeve for this final round, and they're now bringing out the Cade 2-brow combination, which is just a nightmare for getting the wall open. Obviously, you've got the Thatcher, but that 2-brow is just going to slow things down. And the Maverick, it expedites it. It speeds things right back up again. Still the minigame going on here. And the exothermic frozen once again.
Watch out. Enemy device nearby.
One shot left for the Thatcher here. Be interested to see if this wall does end up getting open. You can hear it sent out there now. And I believe that was the wall getting opened. What, a minute and 10? You typically want that open in the first 50 seconds.
I know, but I think just with the ban jab, the Cade in the top, like you mentioned, it is just going to kind of take your time. But still, for Team Liquid Alienware, they've got the breach open. That's the main thing. And they've also got the opening pick as Hates. Takes a bit of a peek and gets punished. KZ goes big alongside Maya. Team Liquid Alienware flooding in with kills.
Fancy will find one back in response. Basetto and him have to put in a big old shift now. Fleapox has the kit in hand and they know that they've got players pinned down. Wizard. Gonna be Wizard, is it's going to be Fancy. Moving up through there, trying his trademark flank, but it isn't going to work this time. Bassetto taken down inside a connector. Team Liquid Alienware there proving they didn't need a lot of that clock, because once that wall was opened, they would just go, go, go. Might only been 1 minute and 10 seconds on the clock, but they didn't even need all of it. And even half after the siege that we've seen. Very surprising. I'm interested to hear what our wonderful desk has to hear about these first couple of rounds.
Thank you, Ollie. Thank you, Demo. And if I'm not mistaken here, Leo, it seems like Team Liquid Alienware are able to get entries, but not always really convert them into a round win. What's been going on here, and how did we end up getting, I guess, a different result at the end of the sixth one?
Yeah, I think the word that was used by Demo, which I agree with, is just stealing away rounds. Look at this. Look at this situation. 20 seconds left. Felipox has a sliver of HP. He's a 1v2. Somehow he grabs the kill on Pino and then grabs the kill on Bassetto. Like, that one already should have been for free around for an IP. That was another 3v1, by the way. Maya gets a double kill here, raises his teammate with 6 seconds left. One goes for the plant. The Blitz is then sent to chase Fantasy away. And look at this. Once again, because he's playing for the time here, another steal. And only round 6 really is an actual one where they win the man advantage and really convert it. But, you know, it should be a 5-1 for an IP right now. So, Team Liquid, they can be really happy about how they got away with this. And I think it goes back to what we said in the pregame, Milosh. We said if there is one guy that steps up on the side of Team Liquid, one guy that we want to see play in a BO3, it has to be Maya. Well, Maya is here because Maya is the one that saves the round here with the Dokai that gets the triple kill on the, well, the double kill on the plant. And then he's the one that gets 3 opening engagements as well. My main worry was, if you get that opening engagement, somehow you need to find a way to snowball on it. And I think that's not something that we've seen Team Liquid Alienware do it so far in attack. So there needs to be a reaction to play better as a team when they're in defense. Keep that composure, keep that man advantage. Because so far in IP, they're not giving it back.
The question is, will Team Liquid Alienware get more aggressive on the second half on the defense and really push NIP to the edge, or it'll be a different result? We'll see NIP on their attacking side now as our halftime is kicking off, and our first bands in it are Ace and Qaed. Do you want to have a chat about this, Leo?
Yeah,
you can
I'm
have
not
the
surprised.
casters wait for a sec.
I think they want to, you know, NIP, they don't want to be bothered. They've just abused the hell out of Qaed and Wall Denial, the entirety of their defense, and they even paired it with Tubarão on the last round. Didn't look so good for them. So they want to take it the safe way, remove the 2 Wall Denial pairs. In my opinion, I think that's a waste, because when you do that, you allow for the lineup that you see on the screen, the strong operators like Mira, like Azami, they're all available for the opponents. And that makes it so much harder after you breach the walls to actually breach the bomb site.
A comfy time to box in. We're going to box out of this here as we'll leave it to Demo and Extra Troika to continue on. Enjoy.
Thank you very much, chaps. Enjoying the little insight on the bands there as well. You can almost think of it as just sort of delaying making something, you know, you're delaying the hard work, really. Yeah, okay, you can ban the wall now, you're going to get the wall open easily, but at the end of the day, you've still got mirrors to go up against, you've still got armies to go up against. You've still got all of those toys at the defender's disposal.
10 seconds to
But of course, with the advantage of having a slightly longer angle onto that from outside to in. I don't think the NIP are going to be too concerned, though, given that lineup demo. It looks fairly aggressive.
I think with what Leo was saying, you know, where, yes, you're going to speed things up, certainly, you know, with the electrifications. But, again, as you mentioned too, you have the Mirror, you have the Azami. And playing against those 2 operators, you almost need to bring in the specialized counters. Like, you're going to need to start bringing an Ashe into the lineup. You maybe need to bring a Flores into the lineup. Whereas, if you're just dealing with the electrifications, Thatcher will be able to kill both of them. You know? So, I think that's a little bit of an issue for it. Also, even for NIP...
What if we think of it in a different way, Demo? Sorry, I need to cut you off in mid-flow. What are we thinking in a different way? We ban the electrification, but we still bring the Thatcher. Are we thinking about that decision?
I mean, Leo may have an issue with it, but Thatcher's still going to get a little value. Whenever there's still a lot of traps in the meta, you're still going to get some good stuff out of that. However, not going to get the most out of this lineup. You know, we're not seeing the kind of classic Thorn, which has been everywhere, even Ella to an extent too. Fenrir.
Some serious drywall work coming up.
Yeah, I mean, you're searching out, like, Banshees and Mute Jammers at this point. Maybe a BP if you're going that specific, but we don't need to be bringing a whole operator just for that. Hate's trying to get a little bit of value out of those shock drones. The wall has been opened, and in fairly tidy time. Should be able to destroy a good portion of these Vulcan packs. I think he's got at least 2 so far. They're going to be key for players like Bassetto. Notice his lineup when he gets out of his drone. He's actually rocking the 612 shotgun, so he's looking for close range engagements there with that. He's going to be trying to take full advantage. Of course, the Thatcher is nice. You can destroy inside of electric or disable that Banshee, and that is going to speed up a little bit the ability for your Ying to move through. Fancy. Making sure that that floor is indeed lava and distracting those defenders' eyes. It's the time where they've got to be careful. We can hear the Candelas going out now. That should be the cue to call for Bassetto. To be looking to try and move through. He's got himself into electrical now. Philippox first to fall. Fancy making good on that vert. Feeling the pressure on the catwalk as well. Bassetto. He's just biding his time, eh? Just send the Candela. Get yourself around the corner. KZ falls as well. Oh, look at the shotgun at close range. NIP are tearing them apart here, Demo.
Nate, in the 1v5, talked about the clutch gene that Team Liquid Alienware do possess, but I don't think this is going to happen for him. Just too many players to deal with, and yeah, flawless for NIP. I just want to highlight the Deimos in that round. Has essentially got 2 kills and also an assist, because he went below and just played the very simple role of track somebody downstairs and light them up through the floorboards. He was able to get 1 kill, and then whenever the Ying swung electrical into sight, did you notice that the player that they killed was looking down the verge trying to fight that Deimos, wasn't even aware that somebody was inside electrical? That's the power that Deimos brings to that site.
It just distracts the attention. As a defender, you cannot look everywhere. You're getting shot through the floor, the breach is open, there's drones running around your feet, you're hearing Candelas go off, you've got teammates asking for a bit of assistance here or there, or can you watch this? There's just so much to do in that moment that, yeah, you are just going to get swung by somebody with a 612 shoving it into your face, and it is an inevitability. Fancy, a great player at finding that space. That surely got to be the ban. The Team Liquid Alienware muster when we get to that next portion. Until then, there are 2 rounds yet to play, this being one of them. And we're going to be headed downstairs to the basement for it. It's like a slightly different lineup on both sides, really. We've got Valkyrie being brought by Team Liquid Alienware here. KZ looking for information. That is going to be the aim of their game. The addition of the book for Pino. So far less direct than the attempt that we saw Team Liquid Alienware have downstairs, where they were very focused on getting that wall open, looking to try and leverage the glass and utilize those smokes and really quickly get a plant down. This, to me, speaks much more of a, well, it's going to be a full map clear at this rate, isn't it?
Yeah, you got the top down, you have the Monty, you've also got the back, so you've got that little bit of self-destruction, which certainly not what we've really seen from Team Liquid Alienware. Whenever they were attacking into this basement, they didn't bring any soft breachers whatsoever, so they just really couldn't play the kind of traditional playstyle, I suppose you could say. But already with a minute gone, not a lot has happened here for NIP. I think it's just the kind of drone phase for them to get themselves into the building. And, well, there is quite a few roamers. You've got KZ in towards the top floor, who now quickly drops down to the safety of his teammates, as that Monty did come straight in towards them. But yeah, it's just slow and steady here for NIP. This is where the roamers for Team Liquid Alienware just need to be very careful, because, I mean, as long as the Monty is going to be there as the potential threat that's going to kill you, he's going to feed the information to everyone else who will kill you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Fancy and Pino on the book behind the Monty that's going to be the real deadly force in this lineup. Bassetto has managed to take quite a lot of ground quite quickly and shoved these defenders around, knowingly or not. Gathering some key information right here. He's going to assume that somebody's on those cargo stairs, and I'm sure the drone will confirm it if he doesn't. With that hatch being open, maybe look even to try and bait out a little bit of utility at this early stage in the round. This team are pretty much free to go now and start opening up this floor. We've got Animus hatch open. And rotate round over toward Exo as well, as it's always a good place to send the Monty down later on into the round. The key for this now is information, and I think that what we've just seen there happen to Pino, the drone going into the mute jammer, they just feel like they're a little bit starved of it. Those mute jammers are going to be very well placed down there, and Maya, still unaccounted for upstairs, is going to pick up the opener for round number 8.
And he's not alone. He's got a friend with him. Philippox also looking to try and go for a flank. You can see that Team Liquid Alienware are all trying to hit these angles at the same time. Even Nade on that smoke, walking up in towards Cargo. And they're just wasting time here. I mean, 15 seconds. NIP need to get a move on. They need to try and get themselves into the bomb site. But I just don't think that's going to happen. They are now going to go for the plant. There should be the response here from Team Liquid Alienware, as they will try and retake above. Pino holds his ground upstairs, and the diffuser went down. The smoke was too late. However, the Monty does go down. It's going to be a slaughterhouse in towards Animus. Another player above. Maya takes down Pino. And now Wizard in the 1v4. Diffuser is going to try and get stuck. Nade does go down. Wizard now looks towards the player upstairs. The diffuser going to be stuck again. Have they got bodies in front? Oh, JV goes down. He has to stick it. Team Liquid Alienware just about get it over the line. Ho, ho, ho. Almost. A catastrophe there for Team Liquid Alienware.
What a game! What a game this is turning out to be. I knew it was going to be a good one. I just didn't realize it was going to be like this from map number 1.
I can't breathe.
What a clutch there. Fantastic positioning from KZ.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by
Had no choice. Had to go for the opposite angle. Had to tuck himself into the corner, hide away from the window, and just hope that his team threw bodies at the problem.
the location of a bomb.
The problem, of course, being Wizard. Incredible stuff. 4-4 as well, by the way. I can't believe that the plant even went down that round, Demo. I feel like I just want to watch that round over and over. We probably need to watch it 6 times.
I think the issue is that they obviously called the smoke to go aggressive up Cargo, and then because he wasn't there, the Monty was able to get in, and by the time he got back, yes, he was able to nail the smoke onto the Monty, but Diffuser already went down, so it was just a case of they maybe overextended their site player, who maybe should have been kind of thinking, okay, there's 15 seconds left, they're going to have to try and flood for Animus, that's all they have. Maybe I should stay in sight and go for the smokes, but I suppose wherever the call gets made, you just have to trust, you know, your team and saying, okay, I'm going to go for it, you know, if you're Nade in that scenario.
I mean, NIP were dreadfully slow. Like, I don't think that that's an unfair assessment. There's 15 seconds left and they didn't really have much to go on. That Monty plant is a Hail Mary. And the amount of bodies that were laid on that plant spot just went to show that it wasn't, you know, plant A, B, C, D, or E. It was way down the alphabet in terms of plans for that round and how it could go. So I don't think that we can criticize Team Liquid Alienware too much for the way that they dealt with it, but again, another round that's far closer than it really needed to be. Round number 9, Bassetto is going to be on a different shield this time. Going to be on the Blackbeard. Looking to use some nades now to try and destroy some of these mute jammers and other gadgets that are going to be on that breach wall. Wizard can now use one of Monty's 3 exothermics to get that open. And we've got site wall, oh sorry, we've got upstairs open nice and quickly. Site, of course, being mid-floor. But IT is usually a pretty good place to start. Fancy. This time on Snake. I'm surprised it's taken us this long to round number 9 to see it. Obviously, it was banned for the first 6 rounds, but he's been on the Deimos up until this point. Maybe this is one of those classic round 9 baits where you play a little bit of Snake and hope that they ban that instead of your beloved Deimos. But for me, Snake's just as good, if not better in some situations.
Yeah, it could be the case of they've kind of noticed, okay, we've been too slow. Let's get the Soul Snake to kind of amp up things and try and get the speed. And speaking of speed, Fantasy tries to go for a quick little slip into sight, but Nade is ready for it. Pino gone. The hard breacher, well, one of the hard breachers is dead. I think the main worry is going to be Bassetto, that probably kind of isolated away from his team, but has now rotated. Nates is inside of IT right now, but has to kind of pull himself out. I mean, it's not a horrible start here from NIP. They've still been able to get a kill back, but the Blackbeard now just going to go for it. I mean, 40 seconds. Surely there's got to be a response here from Team Liquid Alienware, but no, they're getting slaughtered. KZ, though, able to find Wizard. Diffuser gets planted. They know one's above. One's going to be inside the site. Oh, no, the Blackbeard has lost the engagement. 8. Does he have the angle? Don't know if he does. The retake's going to happen from upstairs. Gonna try and hold it with the flashbang, but he doesn't know. Who does he go for? Does he go for the guy defusing? Does he challenge onto the guy in rafters? He comes off. Oh, KZ! Oh, a rough one for Hates. Caught between a rock and a hard place.
Hates was on that BP for the entirety of the round. Everything that was going on, all the kills that he got, the lot, there was just nothing that he could do about it. He just had too much distance between him and the BP. And as the Ram, what have you got? You've got nothing to deal with it at range. You need to get that side-on angle to shoot it, or you need to get up close and personal and hit the melee. Team Liquid Alienware are going to take their first lead of this matchup, and it is a very narrow lead indeed. Thermite to round out our round 10 bans, along with a mirror. NIP are going to choose now to take their tactical timeout. I feel the last couple of rounds, whilst they've made a really good showing of it, Demo, and it's exciting Siege to watch, I don't think that they're going to be happy with the way that they've transpired, are they? They're quite scrappy.
Yeah, it's... I guess one of those games for NIP where obviously they looked really good in that defensive half, but you have to again go and do it on the attacks. You know, and this was maybe the worry whenever you're dealing with NIP, who equally, same as Team Liquid Alienware, it's also a map which has been a permaban. And, you know, typically it's the attacking side, which we see teams struggle with a lot more on labs, because, again, it is defender-sided. And this is maybe just the consequence of that. But I will say, though, for NIP, that's twice now where the diffuser has been able to go down and they've not been able to hold it. That's 2 retakes coming in from Team Liquid Alienware. So obviously they're doing the right thing, Ollie, to get these plants down, but they just cannot hold the way that Team Liquid Alienware are playing for the retakes.
I think that's one way of looking at it, isn't it? But then the other side is, do you look at Team Liquid Alienware and think this is such an experienced team, they're maybe playing for a bit of a retake, and they're going, yeah, you know what? Let them get the plant down. They've wasted the entire... I mean, we're seeing every second of these rounds at the moment. The last 2 rounds have really come down to the wire. And I don't think that NIP are getting the plant down through anything other than just a bit of determination at that point. And Team Liquid Alienware are just like, yeah, cool, like, we're not going to overreact. We're going to just gently play this retake because we know how to play them. We've been in that position so many times now. So I think it's maybe a bit, you know, 6 and 2 threes almost. Certainly a good portion for Team Liquid to take the lead in this matchup. NIP's timeout will be coming under question over the next couple of minutes as to whether it's had sufficient effect or not. Mirror was removed by them at the start of round number 10. It's something that we've seen played a little bit. It's mainly going to be used as a wall denial tool. Strange as that sounds. Get the mirror on the wall and open it up, and you're able to impact C4, whatever you like, really, through that opening. It does make breaching the wall a little bit of a pain. So that isn't going to be a factor now. There's pretty much nothing standing in the way of these walls now being opened. I guess the only thing standing in the way is maybe the small matter of an ace and a thermite ban. But we know that there are ways and means around that now as well. Although no secondary hard breach has been brought, and Pino is going to be doing all of the hard breaching duties with Hibana.
Yeah, it's a little bit risky when we have the one hard breach. I'm always worried just in case that Hibana gets picked off. But nobody from Team Liquid Alienware looking to play aggressive, happy enough to let them use the Hibana. And Hibana is all out of the pellets now too. So what's open is open. That's the way it's going to be. NIP, last time they were up here, they played with that Deimos downstairs. That worked really well for them, so I'm a little bit shocked that they don't have it here again. They have still got that Ying shotgun, though, which was pretty strong, swinging in towards electrical. For NIP, again, it's a slow and steady approach, picking off little bits of util here and there, and wonder maybe if Team Liquid Alienware, if they got the spare reinforcement, looks as though they do. I mean, a little bit risky to go for it, but if they are able to maybe block up that sight wall, that could be pretty big.
You can see 2 players around that position now. One to hold, one to maybe reinforce. JV with the first kill onto Pino. Maybe they want to keep it open. Maybe they're going to win the round through it. Puts the damage in onto Pizzetto as well. Hates, you can hear those candelas going off, but nothing really coming of it at the moment. Pizzetto crying out for help at the moment. So much so that JV's even looking for where this next man's coming from. But he's got no option but just to swing it blind himself. Hates is going to make good with the shotgun, but it's likely not going to be enough here. Wizard chunked down, taken out. 3 kills for JV, 1 for Maya. Team Liquid Alienware, map point.
you picked up on it, Ollie. You look at the Blackbeard. By himself, is nobody going to help the guy? It just felt so disjointed from NIP. Whenever they're already going to be limited in terms of what they can do, based on the fact that they don't have an ace and they don't have a Thermite, I don't think you have the options to try and open up everything. You almost just have to try and commit to one side, which I know is going to be really difficult, but I think there's ways around it. But whenever you've kind of got players jumping in Rafters window, whenever it's blatantly all of your pressures coming in from connector, it's a little bit strange. You know, that Blackbeard sat there by himself. As soon as he lost that Habana, somebody should have rotated around and said, okay, we need to help the shield here. In the current meta, we know that shields are a win condition, and they're a big win condition. If that shield can get himself into position to cross a bomb site safely and go for a diffuser plant, that's all it takes to win around these days. But you need to try and support that shield. And to be fair, credit to JV, he assessed that situation. He's like, okay, this is a Blackbeard by himself. I'm not going to let him get anywhere near me.
Yeah, he played it perfectly. He played it absolutely perfect. He was so worried about there being somebody behind it. And I think as soon as he realized, hang on, this Blackbeard's on their own. Right, now we can focus on this engagement, and kept great distance, like you say, and just made it awkward. Something for me as well, like, obviously, you've got the BB being out there on their own, but Deimos was such a big factor last time that we saw NIP attack that top floor. And the combination of Deimos and the Ying working together, it was devastating. And we didn't see that either. So NIP just... And it's frustrating because we've seen it before. It's not like we're asking him to do something that we haven't seen. We're just asking him to do something again. But unfortunately, that is the way it goes sometimes. Team Liquid Alienware now in with a shot of taking map number 1. Again, a bit of a strange map to be first choice in this best of 3. Is not necessarily a top favourite for either team, but getting the job done when it matters. Ooh. A bit windy, potentially, upstairs. KZ. Just going to get himself out of the breeze. Got a bit of information. Only a few shots going awry. A couple of nades spent so far as well by NIP. They need to be a little bit cautious because there are going to be some Goyos to get through. But Fancy maybe banking on himself, getting a couple of kills, and being able to collect a couple of those nades for use at a later point in the round.
Another switch up, though, from NIP. They're not bringing in the soft breach, which, I mean, did really good work at just limiting what kind of Team Liquid Alienware can do in this site. And, I mean, JV's went for the swing, but that F2 is very powerful with that grip being attached to it now. Quite the favourite, not only just on Solid Snake, but even the Rise and Twitch players using it, even though Wizard will tell us otherwise. But it's a lot of damage done to Fantasy, so he has to be very, very careful. But this loose roamer... KZ going to go all the way upstairs now. And don't forget about KZ. He has got 2 impacts, so he can make himself rotate if needed.
He's the loose player at the moment, isn't he? And he's the player that really NIP needs to be conscious of, but they don't really know that he exists at the moment. And especially being on the Solace, and destroy those flank cams as he goes. Time again really starting to creep by. 40 seconds or so left in this round. Another switch over onto the drones for a little bit more information. A very different approach here, and maybe a lack of soft breach starting to rear its ugly head, because there's just not very many angles that Pino can start to work with here, as opposed to when we see him play this angle on the book. Pasetto will get himself into sight though, but KZ, that danger man, will be found out here. Not sure what the impact was attempting there, maybe destroying an air jab, but he's got to try and make this challenge. And Pasetto continuing to get this plant down will be successful. 2 kills for Nade, though, in the response. Full HP for both Pino and Wizard. Are the vertical angles sufficient? It isn't even going to matter. The kit never got put on the floor. Team Liquid Alienware, they're going to be successful on map 1 here. Milosh Leo, thank you very much indeed. Demo, a wise person once said that whoever wins map 2 in a best of 3 usually takes the whole series. And is that going to be the case here today? Brilliant.
I mean, we always, at the start of a game, we'll always lean into the data because the data is the only thing that we have going into the start of a game. We are not privy to every single scrim that goes on between all the different teams across all the different regions. So with that caveat, we only have the data really to go off. And the data for NIP and Lair doesn't look great. And I'm sat here scratching my head as to how and why we have ended up here, because they have an abysmal 30% win rate on the attack. Now, as I'm sure you're going to tell me in a minute, the players on Team Liquid Alienware, even though Team Liquid Alienware themselves haven't got the most amount of data on Lair, the players themselves love it, Demo.
Yeah, whenever we kind of look at Team Liquid Alienware, there's still that Furia core. So obviously this is the first time. This is their first time as this organization. So all the data, again, you're still kind of basing it off how they were whenever they were Furia. With the addition of Maya, you kind of treat it like a new pickup, isn't it? It's still the majority of that team has made that move. And yeah, if we look at kind of the Furia core and how they performed over the past year on a map like Lair, the stats are absolutely terrifying if you're NIP. They have got a record of 13-2. That's the record. They've played it 15 times over the past year. They've lost it twice, and they won it 13. That's insane. And the attack stats is 61%, and the defense stats is 67. They can do it all.
It's a map that they were early adopters to. And because obviously Lair is still relatively early, if we're talking about all the maps in our competitive pool inside of Siege, they were an early adopter to the map, and I think they had a very good understanding of it early on, and that continued. So it makes sense from a Team Liquid Alienware perspective as to why we're here, but we do sort of scratch our heads, or at least for the first few rounds we will, because there is a lot for NIP to prove on this map. They're going to be kicking things off, attacking into that top floor. Again, going with that trademark ban that was... Well, it did a little bit of work for them over on Labs, but it didn't do the most amount of work. They've banned the Cade, they've banned the Bandit, so they're looking at getting these walls open nice and easy. However, if you think about what that leaves open on a map like Lair, things like the Tachanka, things like the Goyo, massive time denial, and that's where attacks seem to live or die. And if time is a factor... Well, we can already tell you, we already know from what's happened in the last half an hour, NIP have struggled with the time on their attacks, often coming down into those final 20 seconds. And it looks like this is going to be no different. Hates, bottom of rocket stairs, pretty low. Shotgun's out now. Basetto finds one. Wizard backs it up. Sledge Shotgun putting in a little bit of work there and a bit of teamwork as well. Well, this Tachanka is the ace up Team Liquid Alienware's sleeve.
I think we're losing 2 players. If you're NIP, you could honestly just avoid the Tachanka and try and find your picks towards the other side, in towards server, and I think that's where the Blitz is maybe eyeing up. I think for Hates, maybe the HP is kind of putting him off going for these aggressive plays. I mean, there is still that clash that he needs to be very careful of, but honestly for NIP, this, I mean, it could still go either which way, and it's a big engagement. The cover is going to be there. Is Fantasy able to pick off Philippux and JV all by himself now? It is a clean sweep for NIP. After that disaster over towards Baffert, NIP just grabbed that round by the scruff of its neck and say, "You're coming with me."
Really well played there from NIP. Obviously, they've got rid of the wall now, so that really isn't a conversation point in any of these rounds. We know these walls are going to be getting opened. But the way that they navigated around the clash and around the Tachanka in particular, because you look at the lineup that Team Liquid Alienware are bringing, they're not dumb. They know exactly how to beat NIP. They just need to burn the clock, and they are bringing the best operators in the game to do that. And NIP didn't get dragged into the trap. They were able to reset. When they got the advantage, they didn't try and press it too soon. They worked the clock really well, and they were able to execute without any casualty at that point. Brilliant first round, great gap finding, and it's so different to the previous attempts, Demo. And I'll reference Labs because it's most recent. It's what we've just seen. On Labs, we had Shields playing out on their own. We had very disjointed sort of setup going on. That just looked like the whole team pulling together.
5 seconds to insertion.
I mean, I also find it just very puzzling from Team Liquid Alienware. If you looked at the lineup that they had about 4 win conditions. And for some reason, they've decided to go aggressive whenever they could easily have just played very passive. Whenever you know against NIP, who are already like fairly slow, giving them a 2-man lead in the kill department, that's just not going to help you whatsoever. And there's just too many things you have to try and watch. So I think from a Team Liquid Alienware perspective, it needs to be a lot better if you're bringing in that lineup. You have to play that certain way of wanting to stall the round out instead of finding the kills. I mean, for Team Liquid Alienware, same again. You've got win conditions, you've got a Clash, you've got a Goyo, you've got ways of slowing down this NIP side. But I do think this is an element where maybe they're respecting that shield a heck of a lot more, because you've got the Thorn and the Ela, two great answers to a Blitz.
Not only that, but you've got the Clash as well, which is a brilliant counter to the Blitz. You just saw the engagement there, not wanting to walk down the stairs because you've got Nade at the bottom of it, just toggling the electrification. It's going to take Fancy pushing down and chucking a nade out there to really displace him. That nade will perform 2 duties. Will destroy the barbed wire as well, just freeing that open for a little bit later in the round. Ram can now come in, start throwing in those boogie drones. Hates is starting to see a little bit of value out of their utility as well. Classic from NIP in terms of time. Halfway through the round, and they're fairly well situated. They don't really rush to get to this point, but you can't really blame them because it's not really cost them anything. They haven't paid with it with a life just yet. Just a bit of HP that Fancy's had taken away from him. Felipox is tempted for a bit of a walk up here on these blue stairs. He knows that he's got a very good chance of picking up a kill, especially with the shotgun at this sort of range.
All clear nearby.
No kills as of yet. That is good news if you're Team Liquid Alienware. Oh, missed air jab from Wizard. That's not going to help him out. Now for NIP, have to try and go pretty fast using that Blitz, and we'll see if the traps are going to be in place. Looks though it is. I mean, KZ's went for the retake. Diffuser going to go down. Anyone from Team Liquid Alienware going to respond?
There's nobody home. Posesso gets it down for free. They've still got vert control as well. Haste might be low, but he should be able to watch this from above. Fancy finds one onto Maya. Nade, you can walk up and get onto that diffuser, but I don't think you're going to be able to disable it from there. Felipox, he's taken out as well. He had a C4 in his hand, was trying to pull a fast one. JV eventually finds one. Posesso takes down the Clash and the final. Blitz drawing for the pistol to bring us to a conclusion for round number 2. And oh, how wrong we were. We were dangling a 30% statistic in front of you all at the start of this match. And NIP have come out of the gate and won the first 2 attacking rounds on Lair.
It's very sloppy from Team Liquid Alienware on both of those rounds.
As many bombs as they can.
I just don't think that Nade was expecting the Blitz just to plant right in front of him.
No.
That was it. Well, there's no way they're going to go for that, are they? They just smoked the door. Probably going to try and see if they can sprint in and take the bomb site, but no.
Yes, I think he was expecting him to sprint in, wasn't he? And I think that there was maybe an expectation that the Clash's electrification would be enough. But as we could see on the overview, the range, it was just a little bit too far away. Planting in the smoke like that, always a mega risky move, because where do you see for? The cloud of smoke. Where do you throw a smoke canister? The cloud of smoke. Where do you pre-fight? The cloud of smoke. They're in the cloud of smoke. It's not that big. Like, it's always a mega risky move to make a play inside the smoke. But maybe that's why it's a little bit unpredictable sometimes. NIP have already overperformed here on their previous records for Lair. They are doing better than we expected them to on this attacking side. And again, maybe it's bringing into the reason as to why we've ended up here in the first place. Kind of just goes to show Demo that both these teams are really pulling out all the stops to avoid playing FaZe in that lower bracket.
Just get the job done now. Make sure that you can get to the state safe and sound. Don't have to play against, again, as you mentioned, FaZe. Nobody wants to try and go up against. We know how good that side is, despite maybe the woes that they've had as of late. Well, that's better for Team Liquid Alienware. They've got the opening pick, and they've done a heck of a lot of damage here to the Blackbeard, but Seto's having an absolute nightmare. He goes down, JV. Just shoots his feet off. Pasetto, though, able to get a nade, though, on the JV beforehand. I don't know what happened there. KZ's also been downed. What on earth's going on? Another one is gone. As like Hayes was trying to just walk into the bomb site. What a weird opening minute.
This is very uncharacteristic for a game between these two teams at the moment. NIP have been kind of slow in their approach, and it's not been a bad thing. We've been, you know, sort of praising them for it. We get the martyrdom grenade onto JV. KZ falls. The advantage at the moment, naturally, is with Team Liquid Alienware. They have 3 bodies left standing. 1 Toxic Babe, a C4, plenty of Kiba barricades. NIP, though, are they going to be able to whittle them off one by one? Nade, first player to fall. No mega overreaction from Team Liquid Alienware at the moment. Wizard and Pino have both got to find one. Felipox just gets caught running in the middle of upstairs. He had no business being there. Pino, how's he found 3? Just sit still. They can play into the angle. They're scurrying around like headless chickens up there, Demo.
What a funny old round that was, eh? I mean, Team Liquid Alienware just like head loss.
Full head loss.
I mean,
I don't think I've ever seen that side play that way. I don't think I've ever seen that side play out that way.
Are we going to get the timeout?
Did we even get the breach open?
You need that.
Oh, I think we'll get the timeout after the bans.
Nope, no timeout. No.
Okay.
Okay.
We're there. We are there.
We're in the thick of it.
I mean, would it be the band getting back together if we didn't lose our head at SAL?
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
All we need to do is you just need to cast your mind back. You just need to imagine that this is like NIP versus MIBR from like 5 years ago.
Oh no.
Take me back.
I mean, the only person who would still be on that side is Pino.
Felipox.
Yeah. Is that it? Is that the only thing?
Playing on a controller.
Broken shoulder.
Broken shoulder, so playing on a controller. Still absolutely frying.
He actually was, which was insane.
Weird old round. First 3 rounds for NIP. No timeout at the start of round 4, which is the next round of bans. Again, it's a little bit of an elongated pause in proceedings, so teams tend to like to use that just to gain a few more seconds out of their tag. But it's the Clash and the Thermite that both get removed. The Clash makes a lot of sense. That's been something that has been a bit of a problem, but I mean, NIP, they could have kind of banned anything because everything that they've been coming up against has been dealt with. They've not lost a round yet.
This is a big round, I think, for Team Liquid Alienware. They need to try and get their first round on the board. They will go back upstairs, and I mentioned it last time. They had a lot of win conditions. Look, the Clash is off the board. They don't have that luxury of that operator to not only slow down the round, but a good counter to the shield. But whenever you've got the smoke, you've got the Tachanka. That's your win con. Play around that. That's always going to be the issue for NIP. I mean, for NIP right now, it's all about that Deimos downstairs just pestering these players, and also look at all the Bs being sent in too. That's getting a lot of value. A lot of information being fed through to NIP, but sadly, no picks for them as of yet. And it's all about breaching these walls, though, isn't it? That's what they need to try and focus on. Making sure they can get away into that default plant position, in through that interior breach. And that mirror window is there just to make things a little bit awkward. And oh no, a mistime nade. Gonna get the Selma. Thankfully, he still had one more, though. But I'm just thinking, if this gets impact tricked... Oh no. Okay. Oh, now we're in bother.
Yeah, this is where alarm bells really start to ring, isn't it? You're on a single doorway push into sight. Maya picks the first onto Fancy. Pasetto, been a great game so far. 5-1 at the minute. We might need another 5 here if you're going to try and pull this round out of the bag. Primed and waiting to hop in on that Blackbeard. Pino and Wizard both yet to die in this map, by the way. I feel like it's only a matter of time in this one. Wizard will find one. Maya in with the trade. There is a flank up rocket as well, and it will be successful. JV for 3. Oh, line him up and he'll knock him down.
It must have been a cracking lineup for him to get that. Wow. I mean, for NIP, it just shows how punishing that top floor is. If you just have that one slight slip up. And look, the slip up was the nade going onto the Selma, having only one Selma remaining, and then that gets impact trick, and they've got no way into the bomb site except through the door. And I also noticed too, we had a minute left, and all of the util from NIP was gone. They had no nades, no flashes, all the Bs were used. They're using util, and they're not following up kills with it. I mean, the Grim was just firing the Bs in towards top mez, and nobody really looked as though they were interested in playing off that. I mean, sure, the Deimos was maybe downstairs playing with a vertical, but he also has to be careful himself that he can also get shot and die, which, you know, he was being challenged. And then something as simple as somebody coming up rocket stairs.
Yeah. I think for me it was the deployable shield. You know, that just stopped the whole push there outside of sight.
Isn't it?
Yeah, because you can't throw your Selmas because you don't know if they're going to get impacted. You can't push down on the Blackbeard or the Blitz or whatever you're playing just because you know that someone could swing out at any second. And it just took so long to deal with that shield that everything had already been spent, and I don't think that everyone else kind of knew that that was the main hold-up. That should have been the main focus to try and get rid of. I mean, that and the fact that breaching was always going to be difficult. The thermite's been taken away, and NIP, I'm not going to sit here and say they've got a problem with breaching, but they really do try and make it as easy as possible for themselves. I say that, in this round, they haven't brought a single primary hard breacher. Instead, we've just got a couple of tin openers on Bassetto. So who knows how this is going to go, because last round, it all came down to the hard breach or the lack thereof. Now, okay, you're attacking basement, so you need a little bit less of it. And previously, when we've seen them successful down here, it's come down to a bit of a flood into sight and get the plant down under the cover of some smoke. That isn't going to be an option this time. They're much more heavy in the nade department. Maybe there isn't the same level of extension going on from Team Liquid Alienware. There's only a couple of silhouettes upstairs that we can see, but again, quite a horizontal approach right now from NIP.
A bit of a scatter shot. I mean, you enter in through garage, and now they're looking to rotate the shield upstairs. I think it's just a case of trying to get that shield into position to challenge onto those roamers. Lost the Lion, though. The C4, and oh no, the Grim too. So a lot of util operators gone straight away. You've lost your Grim. Great information. Equally can be the same for Lion. Oh, really good information. The thing is now with NIP, you still have roamers upstairs, and now you're down 2 men who can help you with that.
Team Liquid Alienware dug in at the moment. Maya on the stairs. A favourable angle as always. If you've got the high ground and a shield, you are winning. A flawless round for Team Liquid Alienware. Pretty much out of nowhere, this game has swung in the balance. We've seen 3 rounds in a row go the favour of NIP. And then a very quick response. No timeout either from Team Liquid Alienware. And they've chained 2 together themselves. Again, shaping up for a flawless half here between these two teams. Have NIP run out of steam already, Demo? Have they only got 3 good attacks in them?
Well, it's still not bad, though. I think 3 attacks. It's okay. Certainly on Lair. I think you can work with that, and for NIP getting onto the defense, I think they'll be a lot more comfortable. So still for Team Liquid Alienware, probably why they didn't call the timeout, Ollie, because they want to try and keep that for the kind of tougher side, as you'd say, on the attacks. I mean, certainly for Team Liquid Alienware, if they can get the even half here, it really does open up the game, and it's a good kind of recovery process from being 3-0 down. All of a sudden now it's 3-3. You've got the momentum, and NIP are going to be thinking, well, we've kind of let this slip a little bit. We start off really well. Now look at them. We've gave them confidence. And obviously, I think for Team Liquid Alienware, we've seen what they were able to do on Labs whenever they got just a couple of rounds back-to-back. I think they had 4 back-to-back, didn't they, on Labs? So it just shows that this side can very quickly snowball out of control.
Yeah, it really doesn't take much, does it? Doesn't take much for them to put the afterburners on and leave their opponent in the dust. Kind of feels what happened on Labs. It kind of feels, again, what's happening here on Lair. This was the weird round for me. Oh, good bit of damage there, but another successful impact trick. Ace is going to be mindful. And that second placement is a lot better, though. He's at least going to get something open, but we've got one Selma left. And you still need to get something meaningful open on that wall. It's going to be a really difficult task. This was the round where we sort of looked at it and questioned, was it worthy for Team Liquid Alienware to take the timeout at the end of round number 3 because of how poorly it went? I just don't get the impression that that's going to happen again here. Another attempt at the Selma on the wall. Finally, this time they're both going to go off. I think there's going to be something able to be worked over on that breach. This time with 2 opening kills for Fancy. One onto Nade, one onto KZ. It's already looking a lot more reminiscent of what we saw in round number 3.
Yeah, big pressure now, Team Liquid Alienware, and Sato is still alive. He's going to be the main key component for getting this plant off for NIP. You can just sense off the entirety of the bomb site and just simply walk in, avoid those vertical holes. We'll see if Team Liquid Alienware are going to be really snapping onto that, but looking at the lineup, don't really have much apart from the 1C4 who could deal with that. It's going to have to be Team Liquid Alienware on the back foot, having to try and recover this round, but this feels like it's only a matter of time before NIP are going to make this happen. However, Philippox with a cheeky kill peeks down through green stairs and able to pick off Fantasy, so that is a kill back, but still for NIP, just try and go for the plant. That's what they should be focused on right now.
I think you're right, but I know that it's going to be difficult to get down. If they've not taken sufficient vertical, it's going to be a nightmare. You've got direct lines onto the doorways going into sight here, but 2 massive kills there. Wizard taking Philippox down. That's what they needed. The doorway being watched, there was only one conclusion there, and it needed to come through some kills. Whether it was 1, 2, or all 3. NIP there choosing the kill route as opposed to playing that diffuser. Grab themselves a round back. I'm going to throw over to our wonderful desk, and they're going to break down the first 6 rounds. Oh, apologies. I've just been told that we're not going to the desk.
Yeah.
My bad.
They're not ready for us.
My bad. Well, maybe we're not ready for them, Demo. How's about that?
Oh, well. So we'll have to entertain it. Oh, now he said, oh, don't worry. I'll have a go now. No, you missed your opportunity. You've missed the booking.
Well, 4 rounds for NIP. Overperformed, I think, as far as I'm concerned, on that attacking side. I really feel like we've got a game on our hands here now, Demo. There's a massive opportunity for them. They've done nearly all of the hard work inside of this fixture. I think that the benefit that Team Liquid Alienware have got going into this second half is, of course, going to be that they've got their tactical timeout still because they chose not to use it. But it kind of felt like they weren't too worried about whatever this split was going to be because in their mind, it isn't an insurmountable task. Don't you go on me as well, Demo?
No, I'm not. No. I mean, this is where I think for NIP, they have to have the confidence now and say, you know what? This is our map. You know, we chose to go here. We've had a fantastic attacking half, which is kind of unlike them. You know, we're going to mention how the attacking win percentage on layer for NIP hasn't been great. This is where they want to be on the defense. This is where it can be absolutely stellar on their side. And for Team Liquid Alienware, they kind of know they're up against it. You know, they obviously would have looked at layer and said, okay, if we're going to leave it open, they can pick it if they want because we know we're going to have that defense start and we can really ramp up the rounds. That hasn't happened for them. They start off really sloppy. They lost rounds down to not playing their win conditions. So this is it for NIP to try and push us into that third map. And I think this first round is going to be really important because we either go with Team Liquid Alienware getting the first attack, they're going to be feeling confident, they bring it back to 1 round difference between them, or NIP are going to have a 3-round gap.
Well, there is potential for a bit of a gap to start developing here. If NIP get a bit of a run on this defense, we could very well be seeing Bank. And I opened this map demo with the old, you know, the team that wins the second map usually wins the series. And the reason that I did it, obviously, I think it's funny. Nobody else does, but I enjoy it. But the reason that I did it is Bank's NIP's favourite map. Now, I understand that Team Liquid Alienware, the old Furia core, they're no stranger to Bank either. But it is a very good map for NIP. And I think that if they have the sufficient tank on them today, if they've got it in their lock and to go all three, there's a very real possibility that they move on this upper bracket and we send Team Liquid Alienware down into that lower. But a lot depends on this next half of Lair because, you know, I'm talking like it's already done. It is by no means over yet.
Here we go. First defense for NIP. Setting up in towards that top floor. Have the extension in towards operation using that Azami. So I think the idea here for NIP is waste a lot of time early on, such as using the Azami, using the Clash to try and hold in towards Ops and also in towards Mez. And then you try and hit them in the late game, using the smoke. I will say, I think they maybe could have brought in a little bit more plant denial for this site. I mean, Tachanka is kind of been like the staple pick, hasn't he? So I don't think it's a massive amount that Team Liquid Alienware need to be worried about based on time. They've tried to force it in with a shield now. However, you've got the Ela, you've got the Thorn, you've got ways to counter this shield.
Well, Philippox, I'm sure he feels countered. Certainly feels disorientated. His screen only just starting to let up now. He doesn't need much visual to see that the kills are starting to come in that top right of his screen. KZ, the only casualty at the moment. Aside from that, a very successful first attempt. You've lost the smoke.
Yeah.
Big part of time denial here. Well, overpeaking. My only guess is that he was shot through side door.
It's a weird one to see the smoke go down. I mean, were they playing the smoke aggressive in towards Rocket? I'm not too sure. But if he was just on site, then yeah, certainly an overpeak. But for NIP now, they don't have the denial. They also don't have the man advantage. And you look at the time, a minute 15, that's more than enough for Team Liquid Alienware, who are maybe, after a bit of a pivot here, Ollie, they're going to go and try and hit the green side of things.
Well, they've got the Clash to try and dance around a little bit, haven't they? And I think they feel like the job's kind of done over in Ops. They can maybe leave that to a bit of a lurk role later on. They've still got 55 seconds, and there's loads of information that can be gathered here by Philippox. These remaining players for NIP need to be super cautious. No hard breach active in this lineup either, as KZ did fall. Hayes finds one onto Nade, make it a second. His double kills tonight have been so impactful. Wizard is down though. Maya will be recovered. JV can find the space and the time to get that done. Finishes off Wizard. Basetto and Hayes. Not beyond the realms of possibility here. 25 seconds and a Clash to go up against is no mean feat when you've got 0 util. Only a Lion and a Glaz, 2 DMRs going up in this battle. Maya going to start to try and get that plant down. Basetto is able to navigate around successfully. Hates just missing out on his shots, and that's going to be the diffuser confirmed. Basetto drops the shield, pulls out the pistol. Maya has to hold on. He's got a great angle outside from in, but you've got the Clash. Basetto surely can just block up this rotate and give an angle for Hates to work with. Maya's so low. Surely can't be going for it on his own, but no, Basetto with the time. Perfectly played. He might have lost a 1 versus 1 clutch on Labs, but he's not losing one on Lair.
Yeah, very important that he clutches that one up. You could see the Glaz. He knew what he was up against. He made the right call where he needed to kill the second player. You know, let the Clash have the diffuser for a little bit. Went for the jump in, but you're going to get one, and then straight away the Clash just knows that they kind of get off, go for the easy pick. But yeah, that shield, the real kicker for NIP. For Team Liquid Alienware, I mean, it was a 4v3. They did have the advantage, and they went for that pivot, and it didn't really work. I just think that they rotated that Clash really well. You know, it nullified that Blitz. Blitz also had a nightmare you could do with the Elemines, with the Thorns, I'm sure, too. Just really, really tricky lineup, I think, with what Team Liquid Alienware went for. Whereas I think if they went a little bit more hard breach orientated, a little more kind of plant focused, they would have had a better time because we've seen the lineup from NIP. It wasn't screaming, we're going to kind of stall the round out here. It was much more aggressive.
Well, there was only really a smoke, wasn't there? A smoke and a clash. And a clash kind of falls on the line between the two, doesn't it? Because you can play it in either sort of style. You can either play quite aggressive or you can play for a little bit more sort of area denial. There was only really the smoke that was the big signal of like, this is the, the denial portion of the round. And well, that got taken out in the first, 30 seconds? So it never really became a factor either. Alarm bell's starting to ring now. Are they really going to leave it until the end of round 8 to take that timeout? That risks leaving NIP on a map point here. Feels very strange from Team Liquid Alienware. Certainly no time being wasted here in round 8, however. KZ straight in, clearing that top floor on the blitz. Maya going to be moving through as well, just behind. As all of that is being called as clear. They can start to work through. Full top down as well with JV on the sledge. Nade on the ram, so soft breach is in abundance this round. And the sledge's job is really to try and flood some of these defenders around from this mid floor, but it doesn't look to me as though anybody is home. NIP have been very quick to rotate as soon as they realised what's been going on. Only players now holding half positions like Pino on these blue stairs.
For NIP, they very swiftly have realised, the kind of setup here that Team Liquid Alienware have. Whenever you kind of hear the blitz as well, flying around the map, you want to just try and get back to the bomb site, and they are leashing some C4s up to see if they can try and pick off some players, but that's both of them. They're going to net absolutely nothing, Ollie, eh? Like one of your fishing trips.
Don't remind me. Been very unsuccessful recently. Need a new lucky token or something. Not sure what it might be yet, but I'm willing to take any ideas. If you've got an idea, call in. Not done that for a bit. Yokai drone now going out as that's Bassetto. Going to be starting to deter these attackers a little bit. I mean, that's a trade, but it's a trade that I would take as NIP. You've lost Pino playing in an aggressive position, but what have you taken out? You've taken out KZ. That was your key into the bomb site. Okay, you've still got some Candelas from Maya, so you can still make a bit of impact there, but it's not quite the same as a blitz. JV can start to work his way down these blue stairs now, but he's got no idea. Fancy's going to be sitting just an off angle in front of the reinforcement. And that's likely going to be the first of another 3 players here to fall for Team Liquid Alienware. Bassetto still with Yokai drones in play. He's tucked. He can deny anything that's going on here. Doesn't have a good read on where that plant's going down, though, and is instead going to come off. That's going to open the door and allow Felipox to get it on, but no! Stopped in the nick of time! 9 seconds left. Diffuser cold. Felipox picks it up again for another reattempt. He's on super low HP. Hates doesn't need to land much, but hits the head anyway. 2 versus 2, as this is going to be scrappy, but time's going to do the job. NIP taking it there on time.
Oh, my word. I thought Team Liquid Alienware were going to get away with one, planting in the midst of the smoke, but the echo forces them off. It was very, very close. And then just that little flank coming in through Boiler. It's an easy kill onto the player going for the plant. Team Liquid Alienware, I mean, they've went for the timeout, but is it a little bit too late here, Ollie?
I think it is. We've spoken about it a few times. I was even doubting myself at the start of the last round, and I was thinking, are we sure they've not used it? Like, are we? There's so many breaks now. We've got the halftime break. We've got the timeout for each team. Are we sure we've maybe? No, we didn't miss it. It has been saved for map point. Now, the value at this point in proceedings, I guess, is that you've seen what 2 of the defenses are going to look like. So you can discuss 2 defenses instead of just 1. I kind of get it, but it just puts a heck of a lot of pressure on you. But then again, that's sort of accounting for the fact that we're thinking a timeout is going to be really valuable anyway. And sometimes there's just not too much you can do. You've got to try and figure it out yourselves in the round. So maybe Team Liquid Alienware are going with that sort of line of thinking. But whichever way you slice it, NIP are on map point, and we are barreling towards bank.
This is going to be a big part of soul searching here from Team Liquid Alienware to try and get themselves out of this. Has not went to plan. NIP, though, credit to them. They've played it very, very well. I mean, obviously, that opening half, that was the key for NIP. And, I mean, they've had a pretty comfortable time here, I feel, on their defense. And this is where now we go into the tertiary bomb site, into our bunks. It's what we have at our disposal. And look for Team Liquid Alienware. I mean, this is like the lineup that you expect to see. You've got that sense coming in. So I don't expect them to try and go above. I think that would not be the greatest idea. I don't think they've got the best lineup to kind of deal with a lot of that roam presence upstairs. So I think maybe just direct sight could be key. However, NIP, they do have the Solus. So even though the sense is going to be used to try and block off all those lines of sight, the sense can still check to see which is the real diffuser being planted. Speaking of him, finds Philippox. Monty's gone down. How's that happened?
It's a disaster for the lineup that you've got ahead of you. You're thinking that a Monty is going to be a big portion of your pushing power in this round. You've chosen not to bring the Ying. You've chosen not to bring a Capita. You've chosen not to bring a Blitz, a Blackbeard. You chose the Monty. It's the first thing to fall. KZ sends the nade in, destroys the barbed wire for later. Diffuser will be recoverable. It's cold on the ground, but outside, so not as big a problem as what you have lost in the process. But I think this is just going to spiral Team Liquid Alienware into a secondary plan, and one that they've not really got the kit for. They need to go for this vertical clear. They haven't got the safety of the Monty to plant behind. Sure, they've got a couple of smokes. Sure, they've got the ROU projectors. But I think even they know that that isn't going to be enough. ROU projector get sent into sight. Nade has the kit. He can try and work his way in, but this vertical is just got to be too powerful. You've got the Solus. There's no way that this goes down without NIP knowing about it.
Now they're going to have to go now or never. Said they're not going to have the utility to try and challenge these players above, so it's all in, using that sense. So now we have to kind of look towards Hates. He's the player who needs to make this happen for NIP. All pressure on him. In goes the util, in goes the smokes, up goes the sense, in goes the plant, or gadget. Oh, takes the damage, just going to stick it though. Any Solus, H, where are you? Never mind, just kill him.
Yeah, Wizards are going to do the job anyway. The Warden, almost as good as a Solus in that situation. JV and Nade left to try and pick up the pieces. 30 seconds though, and they will find one. It's a great start, but with the diffuser cold and still players upstairs, they're faced with that impossible task of challenging the vertical from down to up. Nade has recovered the diffuser. Maybe start to try and get it down, but I come back to the same old point. You've got the Solus. This should be known right now. Nade, more than 50%, but still down for the count. Wisdom Bassetto with a killer piece, and NIP. Oh, we doubted you just a little bit coming into Lair, but you guys proved to us exactly why it was your pick. Milosh, Leo, thank you both very much indeed. We are going to be headed into our third and final map for our first best of three of the night here. Team Liquid Alienware, NIP on bank. Little bit of a classic demo and a big old prize at the end of it. Direct qualification to the Salt Lake City Major starting in May. 175 SI points guaranteed, and of course a cash prize as well. And maybe the bigger prize out of it all is that you don't have to play a phase that is currently scorned in that lower bracket. Because let me tell you, they are going to be on a warpath to get themselves to Salt Lake City, and I would not want to be the team stood in their way. So a heck of a lot to play for over this next map.
I think overall that the map, it's just really good for both sides. I mean, for NIP, it's their most preferred map. You know, this is the map where they have really good success on. They've only ever lost it once. It's a team that, it's a map that's always going to get banned against them. And I think you kind of look on the side, though, of Team Liquid Alienware. Again, it's for that kind of Furia core. This is also always a good map. You know, they the world for this map.
Oh my.
Oh! What a way to kick things off for Boss G!
It's over. It's quite simply over. You've lost your Hibana. And yeah, you've got some tin openers on Maya. But oh boy. What a way for round one to kick off. I was going to I had it in my mind to talk about Fancy in this map. And it feels a little bit early to be jumping the gun and diving into that topic of conversation. And there it is. He's taken out by JV. Coming into today, the only person that had more opening engagements than him inside of the whole SAL was Cyber. He has an insane amount of opening engagements. Now, this opening engagement hasn't really opened the round for his team. What it has done, though, is remove the Hibana, which means that these hatches are going to be a bit of a nightmare.
Well, it doesn't look as though that's really bothered Team Liquid Alienware in the slightest. Because now, with half the round still to play, it's a 2v4 in the basement. Wizard knows he has to try and go aggressive and find a kill back. He is able to do that. See now if IP can try and weather the storm. Look at the util still on the side of Team Liquid Alienware. They've got the Dokkaebi call, Ollie. They've got the bees. They've got the nades from the Blackbeard too. They've got everything that they need to make this a success. And you can see KZ has baited out another smoke canister. Hates down just the one. But really for NIP, they just... You know, they're anxious, aren't they? They don't know what they have to watch. There's so much.
I mean, this just feels like an open goal right now for Team Liquid Alienware. All they've got to do is tap it into the back of the net. They've got the man advantage, they've got a positional advantage, and they have a utility advantage. They've still got a Dokkaebi call. They've still got 4 Bs, and they still have Blackbeard and that horrible shield. Wizard and Hate are both going to have to hit some pretty serious shots. They are doing their best to try and pace out what little utility they have, but as the Bees start to come in now, the Dokkaebi caller is threatened. As we've said, this should be fairly straightforward to convert. But NIP are really making them work for it. 15 seconds, final Toxic Babe canister goes out. The diffuser is in the hands of Felipox, but he's waiting for that to dissipate before making his play. Hates, he played beautifully up until that moment, but just overheated ever so slightly. Felt like he had to try and make something happen. And as such, it left Wizard in a similar spot. An inevitable end, but one that Team Liquid weren't taking any chances about converting.
I think the 2 remaining players knew as soon as that Dokkaebi call came in, that's whenever Team Liquid Alienware were gonna make their maneuver. And, you know, they've tried to go aggressive, tried to challenge, but the hatch cover is just too strong. You could see that last Goyo canister, it wasn't gonna really affect the Blackbeard because he could sidestep it and plant on the long angle. So that's why the smoke was kind of thrown at the 15-second mark. But once that was gonna dissipate, NIP knew they were beaten, and they had to try and go for that aggressive play. But yeah, overall for Team Liquid Alienware, they just sucked the life out of that round, didn't they? As soon as they had that man advantage, they just kept on to it. They knew they had the util, and they were just never going to be you know, out of sorts to lose that. So for Team Liquid Alienware, they get the first round. They set the tone. They set the pace. For NIP, they're actually going to run it back. I don't mind them run it back, mostly because if you're looking at the lineup, okay, you're expecting, okay, kind of traditional bank basement, Goyo smoke, all of that. Whenever you lose 3 people with inside the first half of the round, you're thinking, what are we doing?
Yeah. For me, it was a weird one because you get fancy with that opening pick. But then, instead of doing like a retraction and sort of saying, yo, we've got an opening pick, we can just sit deep, you know, we just could get ourselves back to the side. We can challenge on blue stairs, we can challenge on main stairs, but we don't need to work too hard for it. We can even hold inside of elevator and drop off at a point once we've shot a few drones or whatever. Well, then for 3 people, or for 2 other people to die after Fancy did, for me, it was just a bit of an alarm bell. It was like, why are we putting ourselves in that kind of position? Like, we've got the opening pick. We just need to chill out a little bit. We just need to work this advantage. And they kind of just gave it right back to Team Liquid Alienware. So we'll see how it goes round number 2. It's a bold attempt to try and run it back. But again, I agree. I think it's worth doing. And it's bank, it's basement. It's the best site on the map. Arguably one of the best sites in the game. Why wouldn't you want to play it back again another time? Already differences, well, it's a little bit slower. Fancy is being a lot more reserved with the Boss G this time. And isn't getting himself into as much bother.
Yeah, I think it's better from NIP Make sure you can keep everyone alive. I think if you are a defending side in this basement, you kind of want the 5v5 execute because you've got a lot of bodies that you can kind of just throw into the mixer and hope that you can try and stop the plant going down, which I'm sure is going to be the game plan here for Team Liquid Alienware once more. Easy, just needs to be careful. There's a player inside the elevator. Doesn't know which one. It's like a game show, Ollie. What's behind door number 1?
Well, you can pretty safely assume that there's going to be somebody behind door number 1. Hates will drop off. Does take a bit of damage for it, though. But NIP are really making Team Liquid Alienware work for this map control at the moment. A minute, and they've got it. So fair play. But there's hatches to be opened. There's still server to clear. Main stairs, garage, all of these are areas that NIP are going to be looking to try and hold. Vulcan Pack detonated at the top of blue. That's just going to buy a little bit of time for Basetto. He's in a prime position, though. Playing on the mute. He's placed his utility. He's done his job. More time, and if he can burn a body here, even better. Caught out. Fancy. Finds one. Make it 2. Where is he getting these kills from? Tucked in on the server. Oh, he's directly underneath the hatch as well. How's he getting away with this? Full white flashed and still there for the challenge. Basetto able to back him up a little bit on the stairs as well. Eventually will be taken out, but Fancy can just dip back. Get himself in behind the server rack. Feed this information across. The nade takes Felipox down. Oh, it's beautiful. Pino, he comes in to join on to the action, and nade smoked out. 10 seconds, and all he can see is a cloud of yellow as the final Toxic Babe canister from Pino gets sent out there, and he's little to do but pre-fire, hoping for a miracle. NIP quite right to run back the basement.
Mate, miracles on Black Dragons, Ollie. Did you not get them out?
Oh, you get out. Just
he doesn't play for this team. He's in another team. Can't say you need that. I don't know. He's already taken. Also,
you've been waiting a long time for that miracle.
There's also a miracle in CNL 2 as well, by the way. There's another one. There's 2 miracles running around.
Is there?
There is. There's a miracle in CNL. Yeah.
Brilliant.
I mean, one guy has just won them that round because he swung the hatch. And that just shows it's the confidence. I mean, look, you remember whenever Fantasy first came onto the scene, whenever he was on the old Furious side, your beloved. And remember, he hit the back-to-back aces. We were thinking, oh, he's next up. He's going to be the next world beater. But he never got himself onto a big side. And that was always weird. We seen the drop-off from him. He was kind of in like a limbo phase. He was just kind of just a player who played in the stages. We never really seen him on the international level. Gets himself on an NIP, and you can start to see him have that ignition again.
Yeah. I mean, don't forget, he's super young. Like, he started playing at 18. So, in terms of, time, it's on his side at the moment to find himself on that, more powerful, stronger, better team in a lot of senses. And he's finding himself in that position right now. He really does fulfill that cyber-esque role for me, where, let's be honest, quite separate from the rest of the squad. And that's very similar to the way that you'll see Cyber play on FaZe, is very much out on an island, very much out on their own, but a lot of the team does a lot of things to enable that as well. Ooh, good opportunity spotting. Hates. You will have wished you checked the garage. Unfortunately, they left the door open.
That's a big door, big shutter, isn't it? And,
I can understand it. I bet it's a pain to close.
and there's also a police car in the way. A nightmare. Who's parked that police car there?
You can't park there, mate.
You can't park there. I think for a team Liquid Alienware, having that opening pick, it's kind of done one or two things. Yes, it's great that you've got the pick. However, you have shown the Amaru, which I expected would have been used to maybe try and target the Echo inside of Elevator, because that's a very classic position. You have an Echo inside of Elevator, he'll sit in his drones, and because he's sat on his drones, he'll be none the wiser that somebody Gara hooks right beside him and we get the kill. We've seen that time and time again. That's the only maybe slight issue, but still, a kill's a kill, and that's all at Team Liquid Alienware we're looking for.
Wizard somehow manages to get himself out of position there. He was getting heavily flashbanged. Couple of kills coming in here. I mean, it's not going to stop the plant from going down, I don't think. Oh, say again, nade comes off. Maybe the Yokai drone there stunning him off the plant. 3 versus 4 now. Basetto and Fancy both low.
Oh, no.
And Wizard and Fancy taken out. Basetto, he's down to the revolver. This is not ideal. The recoil on that is a nightmare. Back into your yokai drone, Pino, to try and stop this plant from going down. That or push up. No, now's not the time. You're not covered. Oh, there's bodies everywhere. Team Liquid Alienware scrapping for that last kill, and it's going to be JV credited with it.
Oh, well, that is a round where a lot of big engagements just went in favor of Team Liquid Alienware. I mean, imagine if that Cade was able to get one, though, then it really would have been interesting. But I just think that 1v3 just a little bit too much for Pino to deal with. I mean, I think you kind of look at the time there for Team Liquid Alienware. They gave themselves enough. So even if there was going to be an echo, they had enough time to kind of replant, challenge them, whatever they needed to do. It wasn't as though they were going to lose based on time. So you really seen that they picked up the pace and they went for that 3-1 execute very, very early.
Attackers need to locate.
I mean, the echo was only shown the one time, and it was for that top floor. And straight away, it's gone.
It's a big ban, that, isn't it?
Attackers have located a bomb.
That's a big ban from Team Liquid. I think it shows their intention, though. I mentioned it in Nighthaven Labs. They've only planted 3 times throughout the entirety of Kickoff until today. Planting has been on the cards. It's been something that they've been looking for, that opportunity. If there's an opportunity to get the diffuser down, they're going to take it. Now, is that because this is where it, really matters? This is the qualification series, so they're pulling out all the stops? I don't think it's going to be a big fundamental change on the team. The Echo ban is certainly going to assist them getting that plant down if they find themselves in a similar position again. Because you think about it, if that Echo player had been a bit more tucked, had been away in Narnia, then it would have become maybe a little bit of a problem. Obviously, there was enough time to do it. There was enough bodies. You would have shot it, but under slightly different circumstances, could have been a round winner. But again, I agree. It does seem like a big ban. Move through to the mid floor, round number 4. Team Liquid Alienware with success on both sites played so far. We have seen basement twice, hence NIP with a round of their own. They're gonna have to wait a little bit until they can go back down there, at least till the end of this one. I think a lot of it is going to hinge on them holding control of this upstairs. Ooh, hello. I mean, that's one of the downsides about going for a run out in 2026 on bank windows. It's not the same as it used to be, is it, Demo?
It's like that. I think he's quite lucky not to get a kill. Look at Maya's HP. It's a rough one, I think, for Hates to take in there.
But you dragged out of the ADS.
Yeah, I get that.
I get that he should have
go for the jump
I get that he should have got the kill, but you're asking a lot for a spray on a hip fire.
I mean, either way, it was always going to be a 1-for-1. That is the best case scenario. Hates was never going to make it back into the building again once he went for that jump out. So, but yeah, it just hasn't worked. Oh, look at this. Really good information here from the drone. Leapox can call out that there's a prone player with a shotgun, but JV loses it. However, he's been down through the hatch. Oh my word. That's something you don't see every day. I mean, surely he'll be in a position to get revived here, all. He's got to be. He's in the middle of the bomb site.
Round 4's like an onion. There's layers to it. Half bled out at the moment, but he is going to get up. Obviously only comes back on 20 HP, but it's still a body that you've got for this final 55 seconds. Fancy finds one onto Maya. It's an important kill. Not really for the Twitch, but mainly just to remove Maya from that F2. Basetto, back from the dead, takes KZ down. You've been wishing that he was finished off. Speaking about kills that go unfinished. Felipox falls. Nade might find himself 2 here. Certainly gets the down onto Pino. He's put himself in a fairly winnable position, but he's still asking quite a lot. 1 versus 2. No diffuser. And everybody on the server knows exactly where he is. Shot through the soft. Reaching charge isn't going to help you, Nade. Got 1 HP, and you've got no time. A sniff of a bullet here, and you are going to be gone. Pulls out the bear in 9. Needs to hit some live shots here to make it happen, and isn't going to be given the space. Fancy top through bottom here on Bank has been a star performer, but NIP are holding firm.
Oh, he has. He has been the reason why I think NIP are sat with 2 rounds. He's got 8 kills inside of 4 rounds, and also dominating in the entries. 2-0 in the entries. And for Team Liquid Alienware, you think, okay, in pretty good standing. They kind of get gifted a freebie at the start.
Attackers
Able to
located
down
and
that smoke, even though JV did lose it, but they just could not convert the kill. Well, I don't know, it's not what I was expecting. I mean, whenever you kind of look at the lineup, you would straight away expect, okay, you're bringing the Habana, so you're probably going to be eyeing up using that Habana to open up the kind of angles in towards the quad wall. But they never really went for that. They tried to kind of flood in through lobby, in through the kind of horizontal take that we see. But it just didn't work. I think for NIP, they doubled up really well. They're able to trade kills back and forth.
10 seconds
Then the
remaining.
time just got away from you. And also, I think it was a tough one, you know, considering what he was up against. 2 kind of DMR shotguns with the ACOGs.
Yeah.
Not fun to play against. But, hey, here's what it is.
Changing mag.
NIP, able to get another defense. I mean, I think, in terms of flank, I think it's an attacker side of the map. So the fact that NIP have got the 2 defenses is pretty good.
I really like this lineup that they're showing us now as well. NIP have entirely switched gear, whereas they've had Fancy just let off the leash like a loose dog. He's now playing the 2-brow. Ooh. I'm telling you, this garage. Get a tow truck, move the police car, and close the door. 2 times now that we've seen Team Liquid Alienware opening pick just by walking down into that garage. Casey didn't even get really into it. He was just outside, but still, the point remains. I really hope that Wizard got to place down all of those Vulcan packs. Because as I mentioned, the lineup, very different. NIP, much more soak orientated. Not only have they got the Goyo, but they've also got the Tachanka and the Smoke. 2 C4s. They are going for denial. They're not going for map control here. They'll contend and they'll contest on half stairs, but not with any sort of vigor. Instead, it's all going to be down to the Cade Claws. It's all going to be down to this techie utility game. Forcing out the Maverick to get those hatches open and hope that they've got enough time denial to really make it happen. A C4 sent out through the hatch that was very ambitious. Didn't come anywhere near JV92.
Now we will be able to get this hatch opened up. Not much that really Hates can do here. And as soon as that sight hatch goes, flying in behind that bomb chassis is just not going to be a thing. Just take this time,
sure
playing
he
as
got a
safe as what he
glimpse.
can. He did, I think he's seen the hat, but I mean, there's not much you can really do, and there it is. Hatch going to be opened up. Doesn't have the C4 though, so he can't really leash one at that Maverick. A few bits of nades as well being tossed in, but didn't really net much. But still, for Team Liquid Alienware though, Ollie, they've got what they wanted. They've got the hatch open. So now they can start eyeing up, moving in towards blue, in towards server, start eyeing up that plant. They're popping the Goyos too in the bomb site, but this was the issue last time we were here though, Ollie, wasn't it? It was getting into server.
Server was the big problem. Pino going to play aggressively now. He wasn't expecting it to be a Blackbeard, though, that beats him to the ground and takes him out of the situation. 5 versus 3 now. And a successful take of server is likely going to be the key. Bassetto, you've got 20 Shumikas. You need to get fire in them, and you need to get fire in them now. There's 20 seconds left to hold on. Smoke's getting sent into the site. Philippok's going to move in deep. KZ now down for the count. Maya providing Overwatch. The Shumika's good enough to force Philippok's off once. Are they going to force him off again?
Oh, no.
Trying his best to find an offside, but just left in the middle of the site. But his team floods through and picks up the kills required. I feel like with the time, that was the only way that that round was going to conclude safely, because Philippok's didn't have the HP to be tanking fire at his feet.
He was in a great spot, and it was really good reaction, I think, from Team Liquid Alienware to kind of realize, oh no, our guy is getting absolutely smoked. We need to get in there and try and find these kills.
It was a flood com, a serious flood com. Flood the site, take him, dead or alive, we need him gone. Because there's nowhere to plant, the floor is lava, save me!
And obviously the issue is with, you know, Tachanka, you either have your Shimmical launcher out for the denial, but then you don't have a gun. You know, that's always going to be the disadvantage that Tachanka, I mean, I've said it plenty of times before, if you know he's got the launcher out, you just rush him, because he doesn't have a gun, just kill him.
A chance here for NIP to get an equal half. Another round that, I mean, it came down quite close there. Obviously, we saw it from the POV of Philippox trying to plant the diffuser. We don't know how close those gunfights really were. And that was all from NIP fighting basically from the start with a man behind. They lost that early kill so early on from the garage push. Team Liquid Alienware definitely have switched on over the course of this series. And they've only held a lead for, what, 2 or 3 points throughout the whole thing so far? It's been very hotly contested. Round number 6, another round, and another DMR in the hands of Fancy. He's going to be looking at trying to contest some of those longer angles onto the rappel. See him play the Two-Brow. See him play the Aruni. The reason is the same. Both have a DMR. The utility is very much secondary. Although those laser gates are very nice for CEO. It is just going to do one more thing that the attackers have to burn. And I don't think that Team Liquid Alienware are going to be too concerned. Philippox at the minute just heading up onto the rappel. A couple of players joining him out here, and with the launcher in hand, usually speaks of something that's about to happen. Nade has got the kit. Maybe a bit unsure as to which line of utility we want to be going for here. KZ needs to make a bit of progress up square before they go for anything on the windows.
I mean, slow and steady for Team Liquid Alienware. It seems to be a much more traditional kind of attack where you're looking to prioritize getting that plant in. Got the Thermite. Make that breach now. In terms of denial, 1C4. That is it. That's all they have to try and get through. So this is going to be quite easy for Team Liquid Alienware. And in they go. They also have the Thatcher Ollie to deny the C4, but H just sprays through the smoke and finds the kill onto the player going for the plant.
It's a tale as old as time. Where's he planting? Probably in the smoke where you can't see him. Just spray the smoke. Even with the Vector, they get the job done. KZ's having to go nuclear to close this round out. 3 kills so far. Pino and Fancy still just about in the fight. Draws for the pistol. Maya with the trade. And Pino tucked inside of meeting with 50 seconds and 3 players that are going to be baying down onto him. The only advantage that he has at the moment is the diffuser is cold inside and there are eyes on it. But he has now just been droned. Player on the window. Just going to push in through Janitor as well. Little pre-fire through the wall. Picks the first. You can separate these out. He's got a very good chance. This needs to be a hell of a pistol shot, though, to try and win the round. It looks as though KZ thinks better of it. Retreats. Philippox has now made his way in. Picked up the diffuser. You can look to try and guarantee this round instead of separating, instead of giving 1 versus 1s. This is Pino's time to shine, though. He needs to nail this kill, and he needs to do it now. He's able to take KZ down whilst it was 1v1. Lands some shots, but both players trade. Philippox is better on the second chance, though. A narrow end. That felt much more like Nighthaven Labs than it did Bank. Those rounds haven't been close for a while in this series demo. Oh boy, oh boy. We're going to take a breather, and we are going to let you hear from our wonderful desk as they break down the halfway point.
Yes, indeed, my friends. We are at the halfway point with a very close round that would have gone the way of NIP at some point, and it kept flip-flopping between them. Tactically speaking, Team Liquid Alienware are winning pretty much every single round, but there's something that's keeping NIP in this and keeping Liquid Alienware from running away with every single one of them here on Bank Leo.
Something, Milosh, or someone? I think looking at the scoreboard, you've seen it, right? You've seen Fantasy. He's 9-5 right now, and for me, it starts with this first kill of the map. A one tap with a Boss G. When Team Liquid Alienware they're trying to attack server, look at this guy. He's on virtual in server, picking the hatch. Everyone would die here. Instead, Fantasy he gets a triple kill somehow, and that is the only guy keeping NIP in the race, because if it's not for him going crazy and pulling these kills out of nowhere, honestly, NIP wouldn't stand a chance. That was the impact on the Blackbird, by the way, that triggered later. And then that's him, Fantasy, 8-3 here, getting the final kill into the round 4 on open area. Now, honestly, I look at this and I think, okay, it's all great. That's it. No, it's not the slow-paced team that we expected. NIP, they've changed things. They try to go on the roam. They try to have the Vigil and the Mozzie together. But it just doesn't work. Because on the side of Team Liquid, you have a team that plays behind the Blackbird of Felipox, that goes through the motions, that has some direct takes with the Glass, the Ying, and the Amaru, and they're not afraid to do it. On the last round, for example, on round 6, that's exactly what they do, and even when that fails, they have KZ to unlock the situation. So they've made the most out of the attack side. The weakest side for Ben clearly, in my opinion, is defense. So NIP was still on that weak side. I would love for Fantasy to continue being this aggressive when he switched to attack, and for the rest of the team to wake up a little bit alongside him, because right now he's the only player keeping them in a race.
Everybody should be checking their monitors here to see if they're up and awake and ready. NIP collecting 2 rounds on their defense. Like said Leo, the tougher side. But what happens when you swap it, and will that teamwork that we saw in map 2 come back into play? We'll have to see. We'll hand it over to XR Turka and Demo to get us into the action. Enjoy.
Milosh, Leo, thank you both very much indeed. We join back round number 7 here. And I agree. I think Leo has hit the nail on the head.
Locate and defuse bombs.
Fancy is the main force. Well, I mean, it is kind of his job, isn't it?
Yeah. To be fair, we were talking about it yesterday. We were talking about it yesterday. You know the way that he's, we kind of teach him to say words. The same way you teach like a 5-year-old like a word that they shouldn't be saying. And the other way you've kind of taught him a lot of words. You got any new ones for him that he doesn't know yet?
Oh, like sayings.
Yeah, like you taught him like knackered. He loves. Oh, you're completely knackered. He loves that one.
Yeah, it's usually like more Northern England sort of slang words, isn't it? It's nothing rude or anything, but I don't know. They just sort of come out. But phrases can be one as well. Cat among the pigeons is a favourite of mine, and not everyone gets it.
Does he know about the cat among the pigeons?
I don't know if he does.
Leo, any cats amongst the pigeons?
It'd probably sound quite good in French as well, that.
He could be stealing your thunder, you'd be careful.
Ooh, okay. Turn them off. Turn off the boxes.
He gave us a translation. Un chat, un melu de pigeons.
Yeah, I did think pigeons was the same.
Do you know I've got a new saying?
What is it?
To dare is to do.
You've been saying that for a while, though.
No, that's recent. That's the new one.
No, it's not. I like you were pulling that one out last when we used to cast together.
No.
I've heard it before. It's not new to me. You got to get up earlier than that to catch me out with a new saying. Round number 7, then. A Grim and a Ying ban countered with a Castle and a Goyo.
Yeah.
NIP again, I think they recognize their weakness, don't they? It is the time. They are a very slow team, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, and is it necessarily a weakness? But they just try and make that late round a little bit easier for themselves, and the Goyo removal is going to do just exactly that. Kind of surprised to not see this Janker here, but we move. It is available for a later point. Basetto is going to be allowed a shield to play around at the moment, though, but that shield is going to be getting harassed a little bit. The roaming Yokai. Good pinch onto Maya, though. Some brilliant cover and a great cut-off from Pino. Because with Habana and that DMR now, you can hold some of these really long, nasty angles and have a great effect. Especially with that Monty shoving the players around. That is going to be the C4 gone out of this lineup. So in terms of what you've got to chew through later on, yes, you have the Clash, and yes, you've got KZ with only 1 Toxic Babe canister. You've given yourself a little bit of an easier option later.
I mean, look at the time. Minute remaining. Still have yet to clear out these players in mid-floor. KZ unable to find Wizard. The Monty is there to try and feed out the information. He hasn't dropped just yet. JV goes down as he was challenging onto that Monty and gets picked off from quad wall. In 40 seconds, you've still got a Clash up. More importantly, you've got the Echo. I mean, the Yokai drones is obviously going to be the kicker that can maybe win them the round or not. But NIP, they really need to start moving. 30 seconds remaining. Where are they going to go?
I mean, as far as I can tell, the Yokai drone's in square, so that's going to need to be moved across. You're not going to be able to deny the plant from there unless you've got a worldy angle through the hatch.
Go.
Fancy knows that there's a player inside a server right now. And a trade going to come out. Felipox takes Pino, but Hates is there for KZ. This is where you need to find that value out of the Monty. Hello? Big kill coming in from Nade, though. Takes Hates down. Basetto, you might have the kit, but you've got to do a bit more than that. You've been left in the 1v1 by your teammate, and it's shield v shield for the showdown. 0-0, plank going down. And well, Basetto isn't going to give Nade the satisfaction of grabbing that kill and padding the stats. Instead, he's going to come off, and time will do the rest. NIP, I'd love to see what they're capable of with an extra 15 seconds. Like, if they could just buy 15 seconds at the start of the round, like, where do they lose it? Because that's all it takes. That's all they need. They just need a little bit more.
I'll be honest with you, that they've kind of bought an extra 30 seconds with the Goyo ban. And they still can't do it.
Like, it's not even like they're unaware of it. They know it's a weakness. They know it's a problem, so they ban appropriately, and then it still bites them. You imagine that round with an Echo, with a Goyo in play? It'd have been a nightmare.
Yeah. I mean, taking mid-floor with a minute remaining, you need to be snappier. Yes, we know there's going to be a hold in towards open area, but you just need to run through the motions. I mean, there's, what, maybe 2 players upstairs, and that was it? Oh, well. I mean, for NIP, it is quite a heavy round to lose, because similar to what I kind of mentioned whenever we seen NIP 4-2 up against Team Liquid Alienware, and we came in to that kind of side switch, you had a situation where you could have either brought the game back 1 round apiece, or you've gave Liquid now the 3-round extension, similar to what Liquid did with NIP.
Yeah, it feels like exactly that. For me, big round. Round 8 must win at the moment for NIP. You can't give Team Liquid Alienware that match and series point at what feels like quite an early point in Bank as a map. Going to be attacking up to that top floor. Side that we've seen successfully attacked by Team Liquid Alienware today. Can they successfully defend it? Bit of information gathering here, as Fancy is going to be below. Often finds himself in these sort of vertical positions. Very rarely will play like a typical vert operator there. Deimos, Snake, this time Dokkaebi. All of which can do the job, just in slightly different ways. You're a bit more pinpoint accurate when you haven't got the skeleton key to rip open everything. KZ. In a good position to buddy up with Felipox here. Team Liquid Alienware aren't leaving massive gaps between each other at the moment. Not giving that opportunity for players to just walk in. Dokkaebi call comes out. Fancy might find something vertically off the back of that. That DMR will rip the floor open. Big C4 attempted. It's going to put Pizzetto down low. Immediately downed as he moves in. Fancy has to make a big play now in through Janitor. The diffuser going down. Pino looks like he's going to be successful with this. This should be holdable from the windows. Get yourself outside. The post plant is on the rappel. Pino in position. Fancy another logic bomb phone call. Chance at a kill onto the player inside a stock and doesn't waste any opportunity. Ripping Maya to shreds. Felipox next on the chopping block. Chunked down to just less than 20 HP. As this advantage further favors NIP. Nade with 1. Shuts Fancy down, but the rest of the players are external. They're on the roof. They're on the rappels. And you haven't got the angles to challenge onto that. JV, a long rotate up spiral. 6 seconds. We all know that time is too short. You can pad his stats, but the round will be given to NIP.
Yeah, nice from NIP. The win con for Team Liquid Alienware. They were hoping their main form of denial was going to be the Maestro cameras. But what do NIP have? They have the Dokkaebi. So as the player goes in for the plant, you use the Dokkaebi call, you force the Maestro off the cameras, and there's no denial from Team Liquid Alienware. So overall for NIP, they assess the situation, they see the defense, and they counter it perfectly.
The theory and the strategy behind it, second to none. The execution, second to none. They did exactly what they needed to do. Nobody overcommitted to the building. I think, was Fancy and Pino the only 2 players that actually made it inside the building? Because that was all that was required, let's be honest. You need Fancy to go in and get some kills, and you need Pino to go in and put the plant down. After that, everything else is done from externally. Get yourself on the rappel, get yourself on the skylight, find the picks. Picks are going to come to you. You can see the diffuser, you know where the post plant is. Brilliant stuff. I'm surprised we didn't see more of a challenge onto those players that were on the rappel. There was no aggressive run out. There was no one playing downstairs in ATMs. Nothing really from Team Liquid Alienware. As soon as they knew that that was going to be the game plan, I would have expected them to play a little bit more aggressively for that control. And we just didn't really see it. I'm not saying that they rolled over and let the plant go down, but their version of what the plant denial was going to be was very different to what actually transpired. As NIP, as you say, Demo, just circumnavigated it. Oh, they've got a Maestro? Oh, you might need to play the Bravo. Nope. We'll just play the Dokkaebi. We'll get him off the cameras one way or another.
I mean, there is a one-man army on NIP right now, isn't it? And that's honestly the only reason why they're still in this game is because this one guy. He is miles clear from anyone else in the server. He's got 14 and 7. Remember I said he was, what, 8 and 4 earlier?
Yeah.
He's still on a 2 KD.
Big performance from Fancy, but this is why, you know, you need those players that have got the big performances in them sometimes. Speaking of big performances, great opening pick. Wizard takes Felipox down. Felipox playing on the Wamai upstairs. Oh, another down as well. Oh dear, this is going from bad to worse. This could be a flawless demo. Fancy, Bassetto, Wizard, all contributing here in round number 9. Maya, just headless. Doesn't know whether to run in the site or rotate back upstairs. Nade, with just less than half the round, is now getting Deimos tracked, Dokkaebi called, full white flashed, pushed by a shield, finds 2! I mean, the end was written on the wall from the start, but I'm surprised he got 2. One was a Razor Bloom, granted, but it wasn't looking great. Almost a flawless round for NIP. You think back to a couple of rounds ago when I said that was a must-win round for NIP. They have taken that and ran with it. They are now within 1 of leveling up with Team Liquid Alienware.
I mean, that was a whitewash of a round, wasn't it? And just everyone flooding in for the top floor. Team Liquid Alienware have tried to fight against it. They've lost their engagements. And we go into the bans. Capital as the ban. Haven't played it once. Running the Dokkaebi and the Blitz now in the past 2 rounds, which has been successful for NIP. That's allowed to stay up. Maybe it's the fact that they think, okay, we know that we're going into a basement. They'll maybe try and use that operator for the basement. Bit of a weird one. I think it's just more of a preemptive ban, but I just feel as though there's bigger issues that are causing Team Liquid Alienware headaches. Mostly being that combo of the Blitz and the Dokkaebi. I mean, even the Deimos as well, you could argue.
It's another one of those situations where there's just not enough attacker bans, is there? Because there's so many good attackers at the moment. You're spoilt for choice. You can really just go in any direction with it. You know, Snake, Deimos, both of those are going to be fantastic picks. Dokkaebi has already proved to be a huge operator for what NIP want to play, for how NIP want to play in this series. Don't think you could have made a bad choice really with the ban, but you've just not got enough of them to, you know, close every avenue down, and you're basically left with just picking what you're most comfortable playing against, or maybe what you're least comfortable playing with, and that's the way that you've got to make your decision. Team Liquid Alienware, again, slightly different approach. Cade isn't available, so they're forced onto the 2 brow. Fancy might be looking to try and make something happen a bit quickly here. He's going to send a nade into Dirt Tunnel. Potentially just trying to burn a little bit of util. He might not fully know what's down there at the moment, but he isn't going to make his approach there. Instead, quickly gets himself out there onto safety. Zipino once again trying to play this cut-off angle. We've already seen him have success with this.
I mean, first minute gone. A lot of NIP really got to show for it. Yes, they've been able to take top floor, but that was always going to happen. Team Liquid Alienware aren't interested in that part of the map. They want to try and hold in towards open area. And to be fair, I mean, they've dropped off a lot earlier than they did last time. They still got Maya upstairs, but I don't think it's going to be too long until he also goes down. Half the round gone. NIP just have to try and figure out the last player, which they have done now as Maya has dropped. So at least they've got themselves into open area now. Hatches is going to be open to them too. But it's that blue stairs. That's the next mini game. That's the next fight that we're going to be eyeing up. Going to be dealing with Felipox on the forward with a shotgun as well to boot.
Tracker on the prowl.
Demos call. Thorn. Position known. Basetto has to try and make this work along with Fancy. A nade can go in. That's likely going to force them back down the stairs. Fancy not really in a position to try and hold that angle. He knows how powerful this hatch can be. We've already seen how capable he can be playing on the reverse, and just has to show a little bit of patience here and now. Basetto will clean that kill up. An opening kill coming at around the 45-second mark to trademarkly slow round here for NIP, as they are not leaving turned. But as such, Nade still has 2 Toxic Babe canisters. And they're going to choke out a lot of this round from that server side. As such, players like JV92 can turn their attention. They need to be worried about a gold drop. Where is this second element of pressure going to be coming from? Feet shots in onto Maya as Basetto's trying to get this diffuser down. I think he's got a pocket there. The smoke's been missed. Wizard finds one, dodges out of the way of the C4 beautifully. That's the only one. The cover now has to be perfect, and it's all down to JV92. He's getting shot left, right, and center. And eventually, Wizard finishes him off. A flawless round and a plant. NIP using every second, but using it to perfection.
NIP with 3 in a row. They've been able to win the full rotation against Team Liquid Alienware, who were cruising at 5-2. They've called the timeout because momentum has been taken away from them, and NIP on cloud 9 right now. And for NIP, Ollie, you look at that last round, the difference was Team Liquid Alienware kind of left a little bit maybe too soon. I don't know. I feel as though they could have maybe stuck up there for a little bit longer. You kind of leave at, what, a minute 30? NIP are thinking, you know what? We got the extra 30 seconds that Ollie was talking about. We have it now.
And it's incredible to see how they can perform when they've got it. And from Team Liquid Alienware's point of view, what do? Do you risk the roam? Or do you just try and double down onto the site? You've lost the Goyo, so you've lost a lot of that ability to double down on the site. But that's the direction that they're going to go in. They're going downstairs. They're bringing the Clash. They're bringing the Tachanka. They're bringing the smoke again. If NIP get a good read on this and recognize, hey, they're doing it again. Maybe they've got KZ out on the road. Maybe they leave KZ as like the unknown entity. Fenrir, they can be fairly self-sufficient out there. Maybe you can waste some time. Maybe you can shoot some drones. Might be enough, but when you've still got the Monty available, and NIP have already just so masterfully showed us that they're capable of taking that control and really carefully dealing with people. I was so worried when we had the fancy engagement on blue stairs and we've got Basetto on the Monty. Like, how many times today have we seen a Monty go a little bit too far on their own from NIP? It's not been so often, but it's happened, hasn't it? You know, there's been a couple of really key occasions that you can think of, but I genuinely don't think they could have played it better.
Another thing as well that I think we need to take note of is the opening kills. The past 5 rounds, NIP have had the first pick, and it has not been traded back. And for Team Liquid Alienware, that is certainly something that they have to look at. It's the entry engagements. They're constantly going into these rounds at a man disadvantage. But we run it back into the basement is where we go. More focus, of course, on that denial with the Tachanka being brought in alongside the Clash too. And for NIP, I wouldn't say they have a great lineup though to really deal with the Clash specifically. They've got, what, 1 nade, and that's it. And even then, it's, you know, you have to get the Clash to put the shield down before you get the value, so certainly think that shield is going to be a kicker here for Team Liquid Alienware. NIP, again, always working against the clock. There's the first minute gone, and once more, just not quick enough to get in the building, I fear, Ollie.
Yeah, not too much has happened. You've got the hatch open toward gold. That's a big tick in a box. Like you say, with the position that Maya's playing at the moment on that Clash, it can be fairly safe in there. JV going to get called in the garage, as is the rest of Team Liquid Alienware. Fancy trying to make something happen in through server. He's going to smoke himself off and attempt to try and work through that. Toxic Babe canister is just going to force him out briefly. A very important engagement, but doesn't finish it off. Maya in the right place at the right time. Stops Philippox from getting finished, and there's a chance that Philippox can be picked up here. There's nobody from NIP to secure that kill onto the blue player at the moment. Hates just going to be playing the hatch inside of open. Philippox picked up, and more importantly with it, 2 Toxic Babes.
Oh, NIP. Up against it. I mean, unless somebody can appear, big old double or triple kill to really turn this round on its head. I just think it's going to be the lockout here for Team Liquid Alienware, and so they've been able to stop the bleeding. It was what's happened on this half currently. Well, there's Beset with 1, but oh no, it's a Clash that he's looking at, who can easily rotate their way back into the bomb site. Never mind, Maya actually going to go for the server take instead. I'm going to try and hold his ground as long as he can and waste time. He will get finished off, 15 seconds, but we know that Tachanka is still up and alive, has that deployable shield. NIP are going to have to try and go deep now using the smoke, but surely the flames are going to ricochet, they're going to bounce. Beset gets it off. No! KZ stops it with a 0.2 to go and finds a double 2. I almost was worried there that the Tachanka maybe not doing enough.
I don't think the Tachanka did enough. And if KZ misses a couple of bullets there, it's match and series point the opposite direction, isn't it? Team Liquid Alienware holding on when it matters most. And you just get the feeling that NIP bottled it. Where has the momentum gone that they've had leading up to that last round? Because we just didn't see it. There wasn't as much confidence. There wasn't as much team play. Very individual, solo pushes. And none of it really transpiring. It got close towards the end, but again, you're planting in the smoke. Like, you kind of need to still have control of upstairs in open area. And the only reason that they don't is because they've already lost too many bodies. And there's only so many places that the remaining players can be. NIP, a late timeout. But it's just got to be good for 1 round to take them into an OT. They've had the run of their teeth so far on this attacking side of Bank. And it'd be a shame for them now to let that slip. Team Liquid Alienware, I don't think they're necessarily going to be pinching themselves, Demo, but they're going to be breathing a sigh of relief that they've got themselves within a shot here. And overtime is at least guaranteed for them.
NIP let that last round slip and have gave control back over to Team Liquid Alienware, who look as though they want to try and finish it here on that top floor. However, last time they were at the top floor, I mean, NIP had a great lockout, really good plant position, using the skylight to make it so easy to hold. That's one thing that Team Liquid Alienware need to try and stop. It's that plant going in. I mean, they used the Dokumi to get everyone off the cameras, which was why they got the plant down the last time. They haven't went for that approach, though. Look what they have. I mean, I'm seeing Fantasy on a nuke here. I mean, what's he up to? What's he going to go for?
I'm seeing a Nook and I'm seeing an Ash. And I don't really know where this is coming from. When we've seen stuff work so well from NIP, this is what they come up with after their attack timeout. I'm looking forward to it.
The shields have been the big thing, I think, for NIP winning. Where are they? They've gone. The last round, they didn't have one.
Just look at the sheer amount of soft destruction as well. We've got the Ash, the Zofia, and the Flores. What are they expecting to have to go through? It's not even a deployable. Yeah, that's what I mean. They banned the castle. They're not like Team Liquid Alienware aren't playing the Azami. They've got the Ace to open up the wall instead of the Thermite, which works so well. I mean, it's a choice, isn't it?
No
Fancy.
barbed.
He's making his choice right now, and he's spotted a gap. There is going to be a player just tucked into Kanto right now. And he's on the Nook. Creeping his way up there. There is a Legion, so there could be a Goo Mine up at the top here. The Rotero drone. Isn't going to be too much of a giveaway, but it's going to be his cue to move. Great kill there onto Nade and bursts into the site. He's looking for more right now, but the call is going to have gone out. JV92 finds one back in response. Fancy needs to make good on this. Picks up his second, can't get a third. 3-3.
Oh, he's a one-man wrecking ball straight through that top floor. However, Team Liquid Alienware have been able to deal with him, and they also got another one. So it is going to be all square. NIP, where do they go now without Fantasy leading the charge? It's up to these three players now to try and make it a success. Team Liquid Alienware, I'm sure they've still got the information from the Echo that they can have, and also that BP. So I think in terms of the information game, it should be Team Liquid Alienware on top. They've got a minute left. They've got 2 C4s still that they can utilize. For NIP, it just feels a little bit of a slower paced time here for them. We're almost waiting to see if Team Liquid Alienware are going to expose themselves and give them some kills. Obviously, have to also wait out the tub too as they try to open up those breaches. But 40 seconds, NIP need to start eyeing up the bomb site and going for a plant soon.
Yeah, time and space isn't something that you want to be giving Team Liquid Alienware right now. Hates going to take Maya's time away from him, and KZ's. Felipox tries to deny the plan, but Basetto is able to reposition. There's nobody to shut him down, and Pino from the window seals the deal. Overtime confirmed.
Oh, it's fitting that we see the OT come in. There's been one heck of a map. I mean, whenever you think about just how this game has went, it's kind of been dominated in large portions by one another, hasn't it? We had seen Liquid go on a good run, NIP, a little bit back and forth at the start, back and forth now, but 4-2 splits. I mean, it's bank. I think this is what we expected. It's 4-2 in attacks. And who gets the attack? Well, Team Liquid Alienware, they get the favored side.
That could be defining for this series. It really could. I don't think that NIP's performance on the attack can be stressed enough. I understand that Team Liquid Alienware came away with exactly the same split. But the sheer dominance in that opening kill statistic, every single round, bar one, NIP got the opening pick on attack. They really controlled the pace. And I think with a bit more time and with a little bit more speed, they're going to be a devastating team on that attacking side. But it just felt like they weren't there yet. They are in some rounds, but not in all of them. And this is where it really starts to get tested. Now, if that isn't a signal, then I don't know what is, Demo. But Fancy is on the clash. He's 18-10, and he's on the clash. Now, is this because they just want him to stay and play in sight, and they don't want him on the vigil roaming around all over the place? Surely. I mean, he's going to play in open, and he's got the hatch to drop, so needs to burn a little bit of time. Well, that's a big statement for your best fragger of the series. Not that Clash is particularly bad in that department, but it's just not what you think of when you think of a Clash player.
Big risk. See if it pays off for them. Team Liquid Alienware going through the motions, and I mean, look at the difference between the two teams. Look how quickly Team Liquid Alienware are in the building compared to NIP in their attacks. You know, and also if you look at the kind of setup here from NIP, they've got a Clash in open by himself. That's it. Nobody else. So should be pretty simple for Team Liquid Alienware to gain control of this mid floor. Yep, down goes the Clash. Do you look at the difference? 30 seconds quicker than what we've had NIP on these attacks.
2 leftover reinforcements as well. I mean, not that it's going to be, you know, the biggest thing that Elevator Hatch isn't reinforced. I suppose it's an option that someone can open if Fancy had needed it at a point in the round, but something to take note of. Hatches now can start to be opened. JV92 is just going to need a little bit more time on the Maverick to get that job done. But as we know, he's very proficient with that blowtorch, so it isn't going to be a massive problem. Seto, a very crucial part to play. The start to get droned here on these blue stairs. Fortunately this time for him, there's no shield that he's going to swing around into, so anyone that is going to try and challenge him is going to have to face the full wrath of the shotgun at close range. There's players almost lining up right now to be that person. Felipox, Maya, Even KZ joining this action. Fancy can feed away that information, but the air jabs, they're just going to force him back to site.
Well, they need to try and drop in and see if they can find the guy in blue stairs, but KZ is ignoring that. The shotgun swings, it misses though. Maya's taking a lot of damage, so is KZ, and I mean, Basel is still fighting for his life. Oh, he's fully blind, but he finds the shotgun. However, Maya's been able to kill him before KZ was finished off. You still have this clash though that's up. They need to try and deal with Fantasy, but he's going to try and dig his heels in as best as he can. The smokes are being panically thrown, and Pino only has one more remaining.
This Twitch drone sent in as a last-ditch attempt.
Oh, no.
Maya, Nade, both desperately pre-firing, trying to make something happen. Philippox is down. He's usually the diffuser carrier. 2 for the Toxic Babe canisters and 2 for Wizard. Maya might have the kit, but he's got a second to work with. And with 2 defenders left alive, it's going to be impossible. NIP know just how big a round that was.
What was that? 2 people die into the smoke, and only, do you know what I think it was? Because they had used their own smokes for the glass.
They didn't know.
They run in deep, so they didn't know that what they were going into was bad smoke. It was bad smoke on good smoke. It's secondhand smoke. That's what it was. Oh, Team Liquid Alienware. It's not the fact that one of them fell for it, 2 of them fell for it.
Well, they didn't really have much choice.
Oh,
the time was so low, like, you know, you can understand the mistake, but it was in part due to the lack of time. I tell you what, this has been a hell of a series. We have seen a lot of these rounds. Like, we've regularly been in the last 10 seconds. We've regularly been in red time. I know we've had a 7-4 and a 7-2, but to finish it off with an OT, I think it is fitting, especially for what's on the table here. A spot at the Salt Lake City Major. Guaranteed 175 SI points. And a seeding match to play later on. Between the winner, of course, of our second best of 3 of the day. Furia versus Fluxo. So whoever wins today, I mean, they're not out of the fire necessarily, or they're not, you know, they're jumping out of the frying pan and straight into a fire, because they're going to have a best of 3. Obviously, they've got to wait for that best of 3 to happen, so they're going to have plenty of time to rest up. There is still some siege going to be played.
Mm-hmm.
As for now, NIP onto this favoured side. Could be a big window of opportunity for them. They need to get it done here and now.
I mean, Ollie, does it smell like a Team Liquid Alienware versus FaZe? Do we smell a red on blue?
I know.
That could be on the way. My oh my,
it's free.
No.
There's 2.
No. Hate pulls off a double that he has no right finding. I think that's it. Is that the nail? Is that the final nail in the coffin?
It's either the nail or the hammer that's hitting it. Well, this is now a massive task. Oh, and NIP are flooding. Hates. He's hit the 3rd. Philippox, Nade. You've got so much to do. Shaping up for a flawless round here for NIP to book their ticket. Philippox, the IGL, what have you got to show us? A massive extension into that top floor that hasn't paid off. Fancy to finish things off and to wrap up the flawless for NIP. They have confirmed Salt Lake City. They will be at the Major.